My name's Angelo, and welcome to this special edition of We Want Picks on a Thursday night. Jakey and I are going to break down the
Thursday, huh, Angelo?
I never drink alcohol filming this very important video, but it's a Thursday, and I'm a borderline alcoholic. Jacob and I are going to break down the entire UFC Vegas 82 fight card, giving you our picks, our predictions, our bets, and our DraftKings fantasy plays. But before I do, let me just put out a little heartfelt message here. Obviously, we do the breakdown videos. Obviously, we're giving you picks and bets and breaking down every fight, and Jacob does the Saturday live streams. We do all of that. And I think we do it very well, and I think it's obvious we put a lot of love and attention into that. But we are also out there, Jacob and myself, separately, building completely original content that nobody else is doing. We take a lot of pride in it. Jacob, this is a thumbnail of his video. He made a game show. The dude literally spent like 12 hours filming and editing, stayed up till 3 in the morning to make this video all on his own. We don't need to do it. It doesn't push premium. It's just, we love this. We love making the content. So do us a favor. Check out Jacob's video. He literally made a game show to win a date with Amanda Ribas.
Let me just, if you want to stay on that slide, let me just interrupt you right there because as you know, Angelo, I've been a fan of Amanda Ribas for quite a while. I think it probably all started when probably the first interview I ever saw her in. I mean, my heart just melted. I mean, she just seemed like the sweetest person in the world. And as our channel grew, right? I mean, we're almost 20,000 subscribers, almost 3.5 million views. It kind of became a storyline for the channel. It became like every single week if Amanda is about to fight every single week, what's Jacob going to do for the Amanda Ribas fight week? And it all started with, kind of me making this shirt. I always wanted to try to go above and beyond, not only to be funny for the channel, for the community, but also, in case Amanda saw it, be funny, but also be like, oh, that was kind of sweet, So I made this shirt. I go to 285, just thinking maybe I'll get on TV with it, something crazy like that. Next thing I know, I'm meeting Amanda Ribas with the shirt on. She absolutely loved the shirt. That moment to me, I know it's going to sound stupid, but in that moment, seeing how excited she was to see this shirt was like one of the best moments of my life. I was, you know me, I'm never speechless, right? I was speechless in that moment. I just started giggling like a girl. I didn't say a word to her, but it was an incredible moment to have that moment with her. So next fight week, I do the Backstreet Boys video. Right? I do the whole music video, all that stuff. This week, as you saw, win a date with Amanda Ribas, all this stuff. Everything is just trying to be funny. If she sees it, it's like an awe moment. The one comment that I always see, that always pops up, and it's becoming a little bit more numerous, I would say, is Jacob, you've laid the groundwork. You got to ask her out, man. At some point, you have to ask her out. Am I right? So, this is one of those moments. Let me just say too, I'm not like a completely random person, I would say, right, Glover? Or right, Angelo? Because you know Glover, right? You and Glover are friends. She knows Glover. I know you. We're just kind of 1 degree separation away from each other already. Not a completely random person. So I think I owe it not only to the community who has supported this Amanda Ribas movement from day one, but also, I think I owe it to myself because I feel like I'm a pretty decent dude as well. So I am here going to shoot my shot. Game 7, 10 seconds left, down by 2. I'm taking a 3. I'm going to ask Amanda Ribas out in the only way that I know how. And that is going above and beyond, separating myself. At the end of the day, Angelo, and you can disagree with me if you want, I'm just a nice dude with a big heart that just loves to make people laugh. And really at my core, I'm a hopeless romantic. So today, Angelo, I'm going to officially ask out Amanda Ribas. I have written a poem, Angelo. So I would like to, and this is serious, and I would like you to get the tissues if you need to. So this is a poem for Amanda Ribas to officially ask Amanda Ribas out. This is called Amanda. So nice and so sweet, yet strong and fierce. Your fists filled with rage, your eyes scowled and pierced. The fight has arrived. You are ready for this. All the hard work is done. It's 15 minutes from bliss. You don't know me, and I don't know you. But as a fan from afar, there is one thing I knew. You are one of a kind, a rare flower that's bloomed, born from the Brazilian sun, and Team Ribas were groomed. Your fight style is ferocious, yet you are friendly and kind, bubbly and funny, and I hope you don't mind. But I just have to say, you're beautiful too. Your heart, smile, and laugh, if I'm naming a few. I'm a great guy myself, and I'm taking a chance. Amanda Ribas, você gostaria de dance? Which in Portuguese means, would you like to dance? This is 100% serious. Amanda, reach out if you are interested. If you guys are watching this on Instagram, feel free, if you guys think I deserve a shot, to tag Amanda. First of all, tag her. Wish her good luck on her fight Saturday. But tag her, let her know I'm a great guy. You know, they always say the worst thing that can happen is she says no. And Angelo, sometimes dreams come true. Sometimes dreams come true. So there's my shot. Are you crying?
I'm like, I gotta breathe it out.
I feel like that was a pretty good poem, and I'm serious about this too. Anytime, any place, you name it, I'll be there. Let's link up, man. This is serious. Let's go. I'm excited.
Well, hey, I think we're all rooting for you. I first of all,
am I
was
a great
just trying
guy
to
or
plug
not?
the video you made. You're yes. Nobody likes you less than me, and I still think you're a good guy.
So there we go. It's official now. I have shot my shot. I have done what everyone in the community has asked, and we'll see how it goes.
Well, we're rooting for you. I had no idea that was coming. I was just trying to promote your video. So now watch this video. Amanda, watch this video. Whew. I mean, this is the next slide's going to look real stupid because I was going to then push my video, which is not the origin story of a long romance. It's a story about a bunch of people that go out shooting some doves, cooking some food, and hanging out.
Follow me on the gram. I'm going to put that on the gram probably tomorrow. She's cutting weight right now, right? She's cutting weight. She's probably, I'm not going to start tagging her a bunch of shit right now. After she makes weight, all that stuff, we'll get it on the gram. You guys can go on there, tag her, and let's make this happen, man.
Whew. Well, genuinely good luck. That seems sincere, so I'm rooting for you.
Oh, that was sincere. How was that poem?
It was a good poem.
How
long did it take you to write that poem?
I just sat there.
Actually, hours. The correct answer is hours.
Well, I literally was like laying there in bed, and so when I try to go to sleep, my mind is like, that's when my mind just goes 1,000. So I thought of this idea of like, what can I do to stand out, right? So I think, I can write a poem. I used to write poetry literally like kind of all the time. So I did, like, I was like trying to fall asleep. I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna stay up, hammer this thing out, and just boom, 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 boom. Actually, it didn't take long because it was easy. It just came natural. I mean, she is that type of girl, Angela. It just became natural for me. So
good. I'm rooting for you. Well, I was about to plug my video, which is fucking stupid compared to everything else. H. Hui says he loves the Fight Foods vlogs. It's a vlog. It's a peek behind the curtain. Literally, we do something cool. I go spend a bunch of money on food so I can cook it. Friends come over, we watch fights, we react. All those things. Check it out. This is just extra content that takes a lot of time, effort, and money to make. And we just genuinely want to share our creativity and our stories with you. But let's go ahead and talk about some actual fight stuff. This video is up right now. So is his game show video. And if you want to mail something, you can. The reason I have this here is because if you watch the Fight Foods video, you would see that somebody, they didn't leave a note, somebody sent us some hot-ass sauce. And I tried the sauce, and it was a real problem for a while. So send us stuff, preferably not insanely hot things, and we would appreciate it. We'll open it on camera. Everything's a surprise. We had a couple of very nice letters walking us through somebody's betting journey, which was actually a fun journey for us. Full disclosure, I opened the first letter, and it was about how Izzy ruined every parlay he was ever in. I was like, uh-oh. But, you know, we open it, we read it, it is what it is, and then thank God the second letter was much better, because I was worried the second letter was going to be another Gabriel Bonfim ruined my life, and then there's just two packages, anonymous packages, on the table after those letters. I was not going to open them if the second one was bad. Anyway, here's the address if you want to send something. We will open these on every single vlog. And the next one is in a couple of weeks. Let's talk about some actual fighting now, and we'll back up a little bit to UFC 295. We did all the things. All the things. I'm up units. Jacob is up units. Jacob's underdog lock of the week won, and I picked against it. I didn't bet against it, but I picked against it.
That's
underdog. No, you had 11 minutes.
That's 5 straight pay-per-views. I've been up money, and I've hit lock of the week on 5 straight pay-per-views as well. So,
congratulations. The underdog lock of the week hit. Some of the DFS fantasies hit, and the premium member safety parlay hit as well. It was across the board. Everything that could go well did go well. The safety parlay continues to be a success. Obviously, you'll miss some. Gabriel Bonfim, that's your problem. But we're winning far more than we miss. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It is only $10 a month. You will unlock the safety parlay, but we are not the only people that did incredibly well. So did the rest of our premium members. Over $90,000 in tickets were shared in the premium member channel in our free Discord. Hop on that Discord. I will only ever show a ticket here if it is from a premium member, because that's what we do here. We boost up our premium members. We are building something. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It's only $10. You're going to get tools like the line movement tracker. This card specifically, do you hear that?
sounds like something's going on.
Dude, they insisted on sleeping in the same room. I never let them do it. I said, let me let them do it.
You said that last time. You were like...
Okay, correct.
Okay.
Okay, I have been traveling for 3 days for work. Tiffany let them share a room. She said it went fine. They insisted on sharing a room again. I let them share the room. I'm looking at the monitor, and I just see chaos. And it's kids are a nightmare. Line movement tracker. You can get the opening odds, the current odds, the win probability, and the line movement for every single fighter on every single card. The detailed data, metrics, and analytics. 38 columns. I don't know why I yelled that. Of information to help you find your spots. You're going to get a DraftKings optimizer that will build lineups for you. You're going to get even more than just me and Jakey Boy. You're going to get Artem. Artem has a full Bellator breakdown. Bellator 301.
Oh, by the way, just real quick about Artem. This is relative. I actually wrote Artem a poem. So so nice and so sweet. Yet strong and fierce.
Okay,
your
we're done
fists
here.
filled with he's a boxer now. His fists filled with rage. His eyes scowled and pierced. Okay. The fight has arrived. We're
12 minutes in and we haven't talked about a single fight. Artem broke down Bellator. Those picks and bets are up now. The Pick Doctor breaking down fights based solely off of historical data. You're going to get the MMA Minute. This guy has 30,000 followers on TikTok. And you're going to get Running Mouth MMA. There are 3 of them giving you picks, bets, insight, and information. And follow our socials. Our socials are 100% free. This
is a big week. Get on the gram, guys. This is the gram. We're gonna look at them start yelling at the kids.
You just see me in the background, Homer Simpson style.
Man.
Follow the socials. They are 100% free, including the Discord. Obviously, the Discord has a whole bunch of premium features, but the base of it is free. You can join, hop in there, talk to the community, hang out, and swap some bets, ideas, thoughts, all of those things. Let's go ahead and talk about some fights.
We got some super chats.
They're in the room together. But before we talk about some fights, let's talk about some super chats. We have 279 Canadian from 47 rounds with a Z. I don't see a comment with it, but thank you so much for that
First super chat. Oh, and here comes the second super chat. And I like this one.
I'm scrolling. Another one from 47 rounds, 699. Amanda asked me why Jacob is so girthy. I told her not only girthy, but a cedar log. We call him Mr. Heat Seeker Jacob. Big cat for her. And that's 100%. Wow. Jacob, you're just sharing your meat with everybody? How do these people know what's going on down there?
Onlyfans.com/thefreckled
is how they know. Thank you very much for that. And a $2 super chat.
Imagine if that was I was actually on there and you had no idea. Just on there full fucking Andrade. Just Andrade.
Yeah, Andrade. Nutsack. All of it.
Someone said Jacob sent that super chat.
It's your mom just being supportive. Maximum Customs. We got a lot of Canadians with us today. Spider, Miles Morales, easy money. Spider, Who's Miles Morales?
I don't know.
That's probably for the co-main
Morales.
event. What?
It's Michael.
That's probably for the co-main event. I agree. It is for that. But thank you very much for the super chat. Genuinely appreciated. Somebody said you got to be 21 to gamble. I don't know what country you're in here in America. It's only 18 to gamble. Got to be 21 to enter a casino with booze, but only 18 to gamble. Are you ready to break down some fights, Handsome Jake?
That's my dude, Jeka, man. Lock of the week. Just kidding. No, that's not like
Another failed lock of the week, opening up the UFC Vegas 82 fight card. We have Jeka Saragih taking on Lucas Alexander. Jeka Saragih 13-3 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that pretty bad loss to Anheliger. He's taking on Lucas Alexander. Lucas Alexander 8-3 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that knockout win over Steve Peterson. Lucas Alexander was supposed to fight David Onama just a few weeks ago in Brazil. David Onama fell off. That fight fell apart. And now poor Lucas Alexander can't fight at home in front of the fans. He got rebooked and he's been shipped to America. Luckily, a little bit of an easier matchup, if you will. But Lucas Alexander's a powerful striker. He wants to showcase. He'll use kicks really well. He'll manage range, and then he will explode if he's inside that pocket. Decent grappling. It's mostly defensive, but he uses that defensive wrestling. He'll stuff a takedown, he'll spin, and he'll actually end up on top and win some of those scrambles. He's got big power, a diverse striking style, solid training partners, and when he does have his cardio, which is sort of hit or miss, he can be a real threat. He's coming off that dominant win, as I mentioned, over Steve Peterson, where he was fast, powerful, and threw an absolute ton of kicks. He's taking on Jeka Saragih. And like Lucas Alexander, Jeka is insanely powerful, so much so he almost doesn't need to be good at anything because he just has that big one-punch knockout power that he actually finds somewhat often. It looks like he looks for the chin. It looks like he's headhunting. He typically is headhunting. He knows how much power he has. He ends up chasing it. He does have backup plans, though. He's got some BJJ. He's got some wrestling. He's not just one punch or nothing. He just found that power, starts chasing it. Overall, he is a well-rounded guy. I mentioned he tends to headhunt, and he could not defend any takedowns whatsoever against Anheliger. Lucas Alexander minus 510. I think he's the better fighter across the board. I think they're going to have about the same power, but Lucas is going to be the more technical striker, have the better BJJ, the more high-level experience, the good defensive wrestling. So I think Lucas is going to win. I'm pretty confident in Lucas to win. But I thought 3-1 odds were like, Jeka's got some real power. Now 5-1 odds, it's like, Jeka has some real power. So I'm not going to bet on this fight, but Lucas should win. He's better literally everywhere, but a punch is a punch and a chin is a chin. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, puncher's chance. I mean, that's pretty much what Jeka has. So you can say that about anyone. And at 145, it's not like these guys are big dudes, knocking people out left and right. And Lucas Alexander, to me, is, if you watch him fight and the style and the way that he stands, and the way he holds his hands, and the way that he strikes, kind of in and out, kind of just pop-shotting people, doesn't really commit fully to shots, but when he does, he can land strong. He fights like Izzy. I mean, and when you watch him in there, he is very, very Adesanya-like in the way that he is striking, a very good striker at that. Came in, his first fight, had a little stumble against Joanderson, Brito, literally and figuratively, just kind of accidentally slipped, and Brito was able to jump on his back, threw him to the ground. I mean, Joanderson Brito is such a good fighter. I mean, he is like a really high-level dude that's going to beat pretty much anybody.
I bet.
And pretty much anybody in that division. I could see him becoming champ one day. But Lucas Alexander is going to be the better striker in this matchup. I don't think Jeka's got the overly dominant wrestling to get this fight to the ground. And we saw Jeka. You mentioned he was my lock of the week because I thought that he could be that dude that can get in, get gritty, get dirty, have the power, kind of grind shit out if he needs to. The guy got hit twice in his last fight and did the old face, like sticking his tongue out. And in that moment, I think I was live streaming during that. In that moment, it was like, oh no, this guy is fucking kind of a mess right now. So, yeah, Lucas Alexander's the play for me, and I'm pretty high on him.
Yeah, I agree. I would say you said puncher's chance, of course. And yeah, I get it. It's MMA. Everybody has a puncher's chance. This is a little more than that. Jeka has a little more power than a regular puncher.
Lucas just like Izzy, like I mean, and I don't mean like obviously we've seen Izzy get knocked out before, but those against high level people, you know, he just gauges range so well, and he can just point and just point and just point. That's what Lucas does too. Long dude, knows how to use it.
Yeah, I think we're on the same side here. I don't like the minus 510. I think it's a little too much, a little too rich for my blood. I'm probably just going to leave that there. I could have thrown together a couple of 2-fighter parlays, some obvious ones, but I don't know, man. And maybe I just need to see Jeka get absolutely smoked one more time before I can confidently be like, okay, well, there we go. $6,900 in DraftKings. Is that worth the puncher's chance? I didn't think so. $9,300 in DraftKings. That probably is worth it. He should probably work Jeka, eventually get the finish. $9,300 is a lot to spend, especially if there's not any grappling. But I actually think Lucas could potentially work in some grappling, end up on top, pound away, get some control time, maybe a takedown or two, drop him more than once, finish him. Lucas has jiu-jitsu. Lucas has wrestling. And we just watched Jeka get absolutely smoked in the grappling department.
I'm glad you don't put game plans together for these.
Are you going to spend the $9,300 in DraftKings?
I think he finished something in the second or third, probably. Because he'll take his time, and then, boop.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Well, I mentioned he manages range well. He doesn't just come rushing in and make something happen.
I mentioned that he manages range well.
I literally go before you, and I said it, and everybody knows. I write my notes.
You didn't say it, you read it.
I read what I wrote.
And your wife
I
writes
read
those
what
for you.
I wrote. Correct.
Your wife writes those notes for you.
I wish. It'd make my life a lot easier. I literally was just
My
complaining to
wish for you. Ooh, no. I should have done that for a minute.
Yeah, that was much better than that trash we heard
My
earlier.
wish
anyway,
for you.
If you want to become a premium member, just go to WeWantPicks.com. It's only $10 a month. Obviously, you're going to get picks and bets. You're going to get round line leans. You're going to get raw notes, insight. But you're also going to get tools, data, insight, information. It is far more than a couple of bets. There are people, as long as the internet has existed, people have been selling lists. And that's all Patreon is. A couple of posts, a couple of lists. Here's 4 bets. Please give me your money. Not us. Fully interactive website. Tons of data, metrics, analytics, information, bets from, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 analysts worth of detailed information, bets, and picks. WeOnPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. We do have a $1.99 super chat from Guru Gambler. He said, are these safety parlays always the 2 highest odds? No, not even close. Not even for this fight. Lucas Alexander isn't in it, and we're about to break down a -9 something. He's not in it either. So Guru Gambler is a dope. Thank you for the $2.
It was just a question. Jesus, we appreciate the 2 spot.
Yeah, he did the skull emoji though, and I mean to be that wrong.
But that's like a friendly thing. Guys, Angelo's halfway through that cup. He's about to get real mean. Just so
assume. I do.
Every drop that goes down the back of the throat, the anger comes out. Literally, on the fight, you do talk about fight foods. What we should have left in there was me just laying on the couch, minding my own business, and you just verbally berating me for like 2 straight hours. Every time you would say something to me, I would just look at Jordan like, why is he being so mean? And then you're like, why are you fucking looking at him? Why you keep fucking looking at him? And he was just like, I literally didn't say a word for 2 hours. You just kept like just berating me. I'm just like,
no, there it is. There it is. I didn't say a word.
What is going on?
Jacob laid on the couch, tucked under a blanket because he's such a skinny little boy. He gets cold, and literally was saying nothing. People were trying to talk to him. It's like, what the hell, man? What the hell's going on?
You just get angry, man. You just
suck it up.
I had my friend over, and you were like trying to be the big dude.
I had your friend over, and you were just laying under a blanket. Yeah.
Even on the drive home, Big Don was like, what was his problem, man?
I bet.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, did he? I'll. If you're in the chat, Big Don, let me know if you actually said that.
Yeah, I think he's watching football.
Yeah, I bet he is watching football. And I want my Bud Light back.
It's still in my. You know, it's funny. He didn't even drink it. That literally was a power play. He's like, I got it and left it for you. It's like, all right, well, just gonna sit there because my body is my temple.
He stole. I didn't even know we had Bud Lights left, but he stole my beer to bring to your house and leave at your house for you. Right.
And it wasn't like he already had it.
He was about to leave for me.
He was about to leave, and then he was like, oh, and went back into the kitchen. It's like, what's he doing?
He showed up with a box of Bud Lights. I assume those were his.
Well, they were mine, but
I mean, I just can't believe I got Robin Hooded. Anyway, Next up at UFC Vegas 82, we have Charles Inner G Johnson taking on Rafael Estevam. I might flip my pick on this, but we'll talk about it. Charles Johnson, 13-5 overall, but he's only 2-3 in his last 5, coming off back-to-back decision losses. He's taking on Rafael Estevam. This guy is undefeated. He's 11-0. He's making his official UFC debut. Charles Johnson, we've broken him down many, many times. This guy showed up out of nowhere about a year ago, and he has fought a ton since then. He's a technical striker, solid takedown defense, good hand speed, nice output. He's landing almost 5 significant strikes per minute, and he can keep that pace for 15 full minutes. Outside of that one stoppage win over Jimmy Flick, we haven't really seen power in his hands. He is coming off that lopsided loss to Cody Durden, where he was taken down 11 times. He's taking on Rafael Estevam. This guy's a high-pressure grappler. Think Cody Durden in his last fight, who's going to throw bombs and close the distance. He's got no issues marching forward, just heavy strikes, and then looking for takedowns. The takedowns are a little bit sloppy. They tend to be trips and drags, but he is relentless. He's going to continue working to get you to the ground, and once you're down, he does an amazing job of softening you up and then working submissions. Good back control, very dangerous grappler. He was supposed to make his debut in April, didn't work out. Then in May, didn't work out. Hopefully, it'll work out here. My original breakdown, I don't know if I'm going to flip, but let me just walk you through this.
Game mode. Flip.
I'm not reading notes. My original breakdown essentially was
game mode. Flip.
we have seen, even though Charles Johnson, I say he's got good takedown defense, and he does, his get-up game is phenomenal. He never actually quits, but he has multiple fights where he was taken down more than 10 times. 11 in his last fight, 12 in his first UFC fight. And Rafael Estevam, yeah, he's not as good of a wrestler as Cody Durden, certainly not Muhammad Mokaev. Certainly not Muhammad Mokaev, but he's going to come forward. He's going to shoot a million times over, and we've seen Charles Johnson have issues with that. The reason I picked against Charles Johnson the first time around was because we've seen him not have that sense of urgency. He was playing games with Zalgas, and honestly, you could argue he lost.
Zalgas. He was playing games with Zalgas. Man, you've been in Texas too long.
We saw him playing games like he doesn't have that sense of urgency. I need to go out there. I need to win this fight. We haven't seen that from him. He's either controlling or like dancing around or just constantly standing up after getting taken down. Somebody just commented he doesn't have good takedown defense. That's not true. He does have good takedown defense, but Cody Durden is nonstop wrestling, and Muhammad Mokaev might be one of the best wrestlers in the division. So, point being, I originally picked against Charles Johnson. He's going to be the better striker in this matchup. He's going to have better cardio in this matchup. If the takedowns happen, he just pops right back up, gets his hands going. If I could trust Charles Johnson to just full pressure forward and keep his hands busy and stay in Rafael's face, he'd be a no-brainer pick. The problem is we haven't seen that. The Zalgas fight, it felt like he should have been full pressuring, but he wasn't. He was too busy like dancing around, doing his thing. So I guess I'm not going to flip my pick. I'll still slight lean Estevam here, but maybe I'll place a bet on the significant strike line because Charles gets his hands going, looks good. He's going to pop back up every chance he gets, but I just wish I could see him push the pace, continue to come forward no matter what, and not care. Do you agree with anything I just said?
I didn't listen to anything. Charles Johnson is a very good fighter. I mean, he is a very, very good fighter.
Three-time LFA champ. Don't pussy.
Excuse me.
And then you guys wonder why I yell at him.
But he is a really, really good fighter. The issue is he keeps getting put up against they just give him grappler after grappler after grappler. And to your point, Angelo, he does have good takedown defense. He is hardly ever, even if you get him, a lot of these takedowns are scored is because they're taking him down, boom, on the ground, but then he pops right to his knees, on the fence. He's making people work. He made Mokaev work. He's making Cody Durden work. But these guys also have great gas tanks. Estevam is a guy that supposedly has a great gas tank. But
I'm agreeing with you.
I know. Are you breathing at all? I mean,
I
just
said,
putting that down. I mean, you just fucking swig after swig, Angelo.
Oh, I'm in the shape that I'm in. I can hold my breath for 38 minutes. I'm in phenomenal shape.
Like a hippopotamus. You are shaped like a hippopotamus. But the issue is Rafael is a guy that has shown good cardio in his fights leading up to the UFC. The issue is he's had a lot of success in those fights. He's gotten the takedowns. He's been on top. He's kind of been able to do what he wants. There's a big difference between having cardio when everything is going your way and having cardio when it gets a little bit tough, right? Makayev has the cardio when things are tough, he's just going to keep going and going and going. Cody Durden, when things are getting tough, he's just going to keep going and going and going. We still don't really know yet. An undefeated guy, Rafael, when things start to get tough, when these takedowns aren't easy, because they're not going to be easy versus Charles. If he does get him to the ground, Charles isn't a guy that just lays on his back in guard. He gets back to his feet. Rafael is going to have to work and work and work for 15 straight minutes against Charles Johnson. If his cardio holds up, he's going to win this fight. If it doesn't, and Charles Johnson realizes that, and as you mentioned, has some sort of sense of urgency to win this fight. We saw what happens when he gets somebody tired, when he realizes that they can't take him down versus Jimmy Flick. He just pulverized that guy. Now, I don't know if he's going to be able to do that against Rafael, but if this dude death gasses, Charles Johnson is more than capable of putting this guy out of the fight. So, my pick is Rafael. I'm going to ride this train and trust his cardio that he can get it done. Double down on the fact that Charles Johnson, to your point, really shows no urgency in fights sometimes. I'm going to Rafael. I have in a parlay. It could end up, I mean, this could end up looking like the best money on the card. If he is who we think he is, but this is kind of a double. I'm playing Rafael, but I'm also kind of just playing against Charles. And he's a good fighter, but you know, sometimes you just gotta.
But yeah, okay. You just get in there, fine. I do have a bet on this fight. I have a round prop parlay.
You have that same tattoo. Jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu.
Is that what that says? Oh, the image is flipped. Yeah, the image is flipped. I have writing on my back down my spine.
How hard was it for them to tattoo your belt on you because it's a white belt? Because isn't white ink on tattoos really tough to do?
Well, the bigger issue is that my waist is a 58. That's the bigger issue.
Oh, self-deprecation. Nice one.
It's just, you know, everybody knows what you are. So I'm just
it's kind of a lazy way of comedy. But
is it? What the hell is it? Oh, Charles Johnson's no sense of urgency is my biggest issue here. Now.
That's what I said.
Wow, you said it before me too. It's incredible. Now, right now, he's plus 133. I don't necessarily think that's not great value. When he was plus 210, that money made a lot of sense. I didn't see those odds. I didn't get those odds. But if he was plus 210 this minute, I would throw a little something on there because I think he can absolutely win this fight. Absolutely win this fight. $8,000 in DraftKings.
Let me get this straight. This is one of those fights where you're going to be like wishy-washy, and then when Charles Johnson ends up winning, you're going to be like, well, I said that he could win the fight, so technically, because that's what you love to do, play both sides. I'm picking Estevam, but Charles can win this fight, you know? Like,
I'm just supposed to sit here, and you're going to say things, and I'm going to get all angry, and then somebody's going to call CPS for a health visit because I'm yelling and there's kids in the house. Is that what you're trying to do?
It's happened before.
That has never happened before. No, that's not something we joke about here. That has never happened before. No. Point B, first of all, look at the odds. Look at the DraftKings highlight. This is obviously a close fight. We just broke it down. If Charles Johnson, if I had ever seen a sense of urgency out of him, where he was down rounds and
talk
just
about
kept
his sense of urgency.
Forward,
can he touch on that?
Yeah, but you already did, so I don't want to take that away from you. I respect you too much. I've always been a big proponent of the handicap people. So how could I possibly?
Yeah, you didn't. You don't want to take that, but you took my virginity. So,
wait, like these are the jokes. I watch our live viewer numbers drop. It's those jokes that do it.
Well, some people can't handle the fucking heat.
Yeah, but this isn't like the most enlightened crowd.
Ooh.
So like kind of weird boyfriend girlfriend thing is like a little weird for a lot of people.
Ooh.
You know what is funny? I saw so there's that weighing in podcast with Josh Thompson and Big John McCarthy. They had Bo Nickel. They had Bo Nickel on, and I actually saw this in a comment section somewhere else. But Bo Nickel, I think it was Bo Nickel, said something like, MMA fans more so than fans of any other sport know the least and insist they know the most or something, which was very interesting.
That's
and it's a weird.
I mean, that's just any sport. You're not a fan of any sport, so you don't really know. But,
Well, but
I mean,
and
that's
at first,
any sport fan.
Where I'm going with this, at first I agreed with it. I'm like, yeah, he's right. There's a lot of idiots out there. But then I was like, but the reality is MMA is a fight. So yes, does the average fan know every nuance of every wild jiu-jitsu move and this and that? You counter this way and you should be moving that way? No. But they know who's backing up that should be moving forward, who's wrestling and should be standing. And that's actually, this is a compliment to you, the reason Jacob was doing so well picking underdogs is because he doesn't have this 20-year history of watching this sport. And he just watches it like a normal person. He started watching when it really got popular. No official background in any martial art. I mean, the dude can barely stand without breaking a leg. He's calcium
I've taken a
deprived.
boxing class.
He's
or two,
calcium deprived. His neck is too thin.
Here's
His
what we're
wrists
talking
are
about.
too
Remember,
slight.
Guys, remember when I talked about how he just trashes me for no reason?
So
Just not
he has
3 minutes
no-
ago. Here we go.
He has no discernible combat experience. Never could.
You guys want to see
Couldn't
Angelo
compete
swing at
in
a golf
anything
club?
like that. Excuse me.
Yeah, we'll throw it up on the screen.
But he knows when he's watching a fight if somebody's getting hit in the face and not wrestling. So Jacob does a good job with that. And I think
you're trying to
that
move
is,
on real quick, but we're going to get that right on the
I think that is
screen real
important
quick
to
here.
know. Yeah, I'm not good at golf. Is this some shame thing that's going to matter? Is it? Like, yeah, here. Is this not the good one that we put in the video? Anyway, 279 super chat from 4-7 rounds again. Thank you very much. Give us some context. We'll read the comment out. We appreciate you. Jacob is 5'5". See, this guy gets it. This guy can watch a video and really sort of figure out what's going on. $8,000, 8,200. I think Rafael Estevam could end up being by far the best value on this card at $8,200. If the wrestling gets going like Cody Durden, like Muhammad Makayev, but if it doesn't get going and we have Charles Johnson at 8,000, he's not worth it. Charles Johnson does not put up numbers. Outside the Jimmy Flick fight, he's never worth the money. You going to spend the money on Rafael Estevam, or do you think this is potentially close?
I mean, you literally just said exactly what I said not 5 minutes ago, that he could end up being the best value on the card. So, I mean,
You were talking about
can we get a water for you?
betting odds.
Betting odds.
If this is how the show's going to go, that's fine. You can act like this, and I'll be a human being that leads the show. Next up, at UFC Vegas 82, we have Chad Anheliger taking on Jose Johnson. Chad Anheliger is 12-6 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that decision loss to Alatang Haley. He's taking on Jose Johnson, 15-8 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off that short notice loss to Damon Blackshear, which at the time was a little bit embarrassing, the way he lost, only the second person in history to lose with a twister. And then Damon Blackshear did it again. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, Damon Blackshear is pretty good. So I think he got a little bit of a redemption out of Damon's success. But Chad Anheliger is a solid prospect. He's got a gritty fighting style. He's a power striker, good BJJ if it gets to the ground. He does set a nice pace. He hits incredibly hard. Takedown defense is just okay. It did fail him in his last fight, but he's got sweeps. He's got a good get-up game, and he'll just continue to move. If he gets on top, he's going to tee off. He only has 3 fights in the UFC, but he has given up 9 takedowns, including 2 in his last fight, which is why he lost to Haley Alatang more than 2 years ago. He's taking on Jose Johnson. This guy's a long Muay Thai striker. He uses his length well. He likes to come forward, control the center with his speed and his length. He does have some versatile striking, and he uses teep kicks, clinch work, traditional boxing, touches people up. Does not have the best takedown defense, and I think that's sort of the key to this fight. He doesn't have the best takedown defense, but he does have some decent offense with some trip work, Pure BJJ is there as well, and I mentioned he's coming off that loss to Damon Black.
Whoa!
You're going to chill for a second so I can finish this. It is an interesting matchup. There are two prospects here. I think they're both solid prospects. They're both coming off grappling losses, and they both have questionable takedown defense. I don't think either of them are going to need the takedown defense here, right? I think this should be striker versus striker. Jose having the edge because he's got the reach, he's got the clinch work. The power advantage should squarely be with Chad. Chad's going to need to close the distance. He's going to need to stay out of the range, keep it dirty, keep it inside, keep it ugly. And I think he might actually do that. I think Chad's a solid underdog. Very slight lean in his direction, but I think Chad can get it done. I think he can connect. I think he can find that chin, find that power. You looking at me crooked. Jose Johnson has lost 8 freaking times, and people are pretending this dude is undefeated. Chad hits hard. Chad closes the distance. Chad makes fights dirty, gritty, ugly. And when you do that against a technical, rangy guy, you could have some success. Very slight lean toward Chad. What do you think, Jakey boy? We'll hit these super chats as soon as we're done.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and disparage Chad too much because he is like you said, he's kind of an old school fighter. Even at bantamweight, he almost fights like an old school 185 or just kind of a brawling style. Gets in your face, is gonna be there till the end. So he definitely can find a way to maybe grind out this victory. But the issue is, if he was to win this fight, I think he needs to outpace a guy like Jose Johnson. And I don't think Jose Johnson is a guy that really gets outpaced. You saw that in his Contender Series fight. He was kind of going tit for tat against Jack Cartwright in that fight, winning some scrambles, getting taken down, but fighting through the scrambles through all 3 rounds, got that decision win because of the way that he was kind of able to just kind of work through those positions. And Chad is a guy that you mentioned like just power or something. He's more like a TKO guy. He's not going to just one punch knock you out. And I don't think that even with the range that Jose has, he's going to get in the face to be able to get in that position. I don't think he's going to be able to get the takedowns. I think Jose's going to use some offensive wrestling. Chad's a guy that has some decent jiu-jitsu, but it's a lot of just guillotine stuff. And you know how much we hate this pulling the guillotine, and he will chase those guillotines. And maybe he finds it. But if you don't get it, Jose is a guy that if you are not super well versed on the ground, and I don't know if Chad is super play the guard game and this and stuff. I think he can keep control. I think long story short, Jose, if he gets on top of him, I think he's long enough and can keep control of a guy like Chad on the ground. So I think he has the advantage on the feet. I think he has the advantage on the ground. I like Jose.
Yeah, and like I said, the confidence in the pick is always very important in these things. If you're a premium member,
we go again.
You see the pick, the confidence level of that pick, the round line lean as well.
I'm going with Chad,
I think Chad can get it done.
I fully understand the
if he wasn't
Jose
36 years old, I'd be far more confident. But he is 36. These are the shows.
36 is the new 25, man.
These are the shows we do where all the comments are like, "Dude, Jacob dude's annoying. The dude on bottom's annoying as hell." So just keep that in mind, okay?
I know.
Thank you so much. Okay, well, try not to be. Be better. Oh, Amanda, will you go on a date with me? 11 minutes later. Mickey Mouse voice. Beep, 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 beep. Sounds like a great date. What would you even do? You eat fucking chicken fingers and hot dogs. What would you do on your date? Hold on. No,
guys,
think about it. You think about it.
Guys, let me just say this right now. Let me just say this right now, guys. This is not, guys. This is not Angelo. This is the alcohol. I said what I say not 15 minutes ago that he's going to start getting angry. He's got halfway through that cup, and now the anger comes out. I don't want everyone being like, wow, this Angelo guy's an asshole. This isn't the Angelo I know, and I understand that. So I'm just going to stay in my lane, let him get all this stuff out. This is the alcohol talking.
Take my beating.
Go ahead, Angelo.
It's my fault dinner wasn't warm. It's my fault. I know he likes it warm, and it wasn't warm when he came home. Shut up.
I called that.
You think about
10 minutes after you drink half that cup, you're like, what the fuck would you even do with Amanda, you dumb piece of shit? You don't do fuck for nothing.
No, because I know you. I've been on dates with you, right? We went out, tried to get drinks and food. I don't eat.
You want to keep going down this road and disparage me? Go ahead.
I'm the one. What was that white belt joke a few minutes ago?
Oh, wow. I called you a white belt, didn't call you a boring piece of shit that never gets a girl. Laugh it up. It's fun. I'm having fun. We're all having fun here, right, chat? Laugh it up. Laughing emojis in the chat, guys. We're all having fun here. Right?
Anyway, Where I was going with this before, the reason I went on that rant is I was interrupted rudely. My point was, Chad is old, and I'm not insanely I do not have a bet on him. But if I'm looking at this objectively, and I see a guy that can come forward and land at a decent pace and connect with some reasonable power, versus a guy that likes to manage range, likes to stay on the outside, if I can trust Chad to close that distance, I think he'd have success. And I think he might come forward and close that distance. Yeah, the layoff isn't great. It's not great. 36 years old, not great. So the odds are stacked against him. That's why Jose is minus 178. But I think Chad could have some success. $7,500 in DraftKings. I might actually shoot that shot. He's also a durable guy. Are you going to have $8,700 Jose Johnson in your lineup?
Maybe.
Maybe. There's your definitive answer. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member, and I will probably spend my part of that money on more alcohol. Jacob's going to spend it on a date with Amanda Hebos, potentially. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It's freaking $10 a month. You're going to unlock everything you have ever wanted heading into every single fight week. We do have a couple of super chats. $9.99 from Julio B. A little tip ahead of time. Because you guys have been helping me make money. $10 a month. What a steal. Thank you so much, Julio. We genuinely appreciate that. Appreciate that full-heartedly. No. That wasn't. I know it does sound like I am drunk and I'm going off the rails here, but I'm just tongue-tied. I traveled all week for work. A lot going on. 47 rounds again. I think 47 rounds just set a record for most amount of super chats in a live stream. Jacob, you probably get a whole bunch of individuals contributing more than once in your Saturday streams, but I think we're up to 4 or 5 on a full card breakdown for 47 rounds. He said, appreciate both you guys. Great predictions with Angelo. Thank you so much. And he loves the food vlogs. Thank you so much. 47 rounds. Genuinely appreciate it.
Not very nice.
I like the vlogs. I mean,
that guy sent a lot of money, and you didn't read that full message.
279 from 47 rounds again. He definitely set a record for most number of super chats. We appreciate you. What he did say earlier is he thinks he lets the odds affect my picks. Here's the reality of it.
Well, I mean, there's a little bit more to that.
Okay.
He said, but I find you let the odds sway you a bit from your picks compared to Jacob. So he's comparing us, and he's saying that I'm
meanwhile,
way
here
better.
I am breaking down a fight where I just picked the plus 178 favorite and was clowned by Red Dumbledore. I don't look at the odds when I do my breakdowns, I do my picks, I do all that without knowing the odds. Then I look at the odds. And there are times where on this card, I'm going to talk about it. There are times where I like an underdog and I don't understand why the odds are what they are. And there are times where, actually more often than not, I say this fight is a lot closer than these odds say they are. Maybe I should look at the odds before I break it down, but I don't. So they do sway me, but it's after the fact.
And I don't give a fuck. I just pick who I fucking pick.
Yeah, Jacob does what he wants. That's what happens when you have nothing to lose. Next up, I mean, that's a deep cut. You got to think about that insult.
Well, if you have to explain it, then it's probably not a good one, Angelo.
No, you got it, though. I just don't know if I trusted everybody to get it. You got it.
Well, because I had cancer.
You had cancer?
Had cancer. And I think that you're trying to make fun of me for having cancer.
Is that why your pee streams are weak?
Well, I mean, here we go again, Angelo.
This fucking... Tiffany tells me I'm a bully all the time. I'm not actually a bully.
The alcohol is the bully. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Angelo is a sweet guy.
I am the vessel. This is the bully.
Demon. It's the demon that enters him. I mean, look at the guy just pounding it. He knows he's a mess and he can't stop.
It's just wine.
Well, it's fucking...
It's just my juice.
Guys, I understand that this podcast isn't what you expect and it's not up to par, but just try to hold with us here. And I'm gonna try and keep them in line, and we're gonna see if we can get through this. It might be another 4 or 5 hours, but just hang tough with me. And I'm here, sober. Love being here, not angry at all. Love you guys in the chat. Appreciate all the super chats, and I'm gonna try and keep this train rolling while Angela is stumbling and bumbling.
Thank you so much, Jeka, for keeping this whole thing together. I mean, your composure is really something.
Somebody said, "Get Angelo's fat ass a snack."
Oh, God damn it! I saw that, and I thought it said, "Get Angelo a fat ass snack," and I was like, "Yeah, give me a good snack." And then now I'm seeing the A was over.
This dude needs a loaf of bread or something. Jeez.
Oh, dude, speaking of bread. So I was in New York City all week.
Settle in, guys. Settle in. Here we go.
It's not a neighbor story. This should be quick. I was in New York City all week for work. I don't tell anybody ahead of time because, I got a wife and kids. I don't need creeps knowing I'm not at home. But I was in New York City all week, and there is a truck, Dieso's. It's a sandwich truck that parks outside of the building. And oh my God,
it's called a fucking food truck, Angelo.
No, it's a sandwich truck. They only make sandwiches, and it's only heroes. Hold on,
sandwiches of food, man.
Look at this. Let me walk you through very quickly, okay? Let me walk you through what was on this. We had chicken cutlet. That's the base of most of it. Chicken cutlet, broccoli rabe, prosciutto, sliced. Not grated, sliced Parmesan. They do a drizzle of olive oil. They do a little bit of the sauce, and it's all on this toasted bread. And it has hot red peppers on there, like the big. Man, that was good. Next up, at UFC Vegas 82, we have Jonathan Pearce taking on Joanderson Brito. Jonathan Pearce, 14-4 overall, 5-0 in his last 5.
Did you just hear that? Hold on. I swear to God, I'm not making this up.
I didn't say burrito.
No.
I didn't say burrito.
God, I know you didn't. But I swear to God, if somebody rewinds this and plays it back, the second that you said Joanderson Brito, I swear to God, I heard your stomach growl. I swear to God, I heard your stomach.
I put this down.
I swear to God, I heard your stomach growl. You just mentioned something like burrito, and you're just I'm like, oh my God, give me one, give me 4 of them, give me an enchilada and a burrito.
I'd rather have a sandwich. If right now you said, actually, right now, if I could order anything I wanted and heartburn didn't exist, it would be Jack in the Box. After that, sandwich. And I live in Texas, only good sandwich is Jersey Mike's, but it is good. Anyway, Joanderson Brito, 15-3 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. He is riding a 3.
And it's Brito, by the way.
Yeah, whatever. 3-fight win streak. When we get to that super complicated ass name later, I got it down. Yeah, well, because Artem helped you. Fucking nerd.
Oh, I actually I have a poem.
No. It's too big of a callback. I haven't even gotten through the names. No. Jonathan Pearce. Usually these end of year cards, I've mentioned this many, many times. They're usually just slapped with like contractual obligation type fights. UFC has to offer every fighter 3 fights per the contract. And usually we get to the end of the year and it's a bunch of trash because the UFC has to meet that obligation. This is a great fight, and there's actually a lot of good matchups on this card. And we have grappler versus striker grappler. Like a couple of interesting dynamics here. It's really going to come down to how Joanderson Brito fights. But Jonathan Pearce, solid wrestler, sets a great pace, both on his feet and on the ground. Takedowns are decent. BJJ is good. He averages almost 6 takedowns per fight. His accuracy is 56%. And as soon as he gets the takedowns, he's looking to strike. Not typically looking for a submission. That's also why people can scramble up, and he ends up with 6 takedowns instead of 1, 2, or 3. In 18 fights, he has only been to a decision 3 different times. He leaves it all out there. Obviously, when you see his pace, you'll get it. You see what it's coming from. He's just nonstop coming forward, trying to make something happen. He's fun to watch. He has a take one to give one style on his feet, and he is coming off the decision win over Darren Elkins, where he had 2 takedowns and he doubled the strikes. Taking on Joanderson Brito. This guy's fast, athletic, solid top pressure if he ends up on top, good submissions. Striking is not technical, but this dude throws bombs. Just absolute bombs. Big wide punches, heavy kicks, no regard for what comes back his way. And even though he is comfortable striking, he's going to look to get it to the ground, and he's going to work from there. He averages almost 4 takedowns himself per fight. And if you pressure him, though, he can be taken down. And that is why I'm slightly leaning Jonathan Pearce. But when I first saw Joanderson Brito's name, it's one of those names, you see it in the matchup, and you're immediately like, oh, this guy's going to win. Because you just know how dangerous he is everywhere. But then I went back, I watched a little tape, and it's like, man, if you stay in his face, you can take him down. And that's what worries me a little bit, is that Jonathan Pearce, I can trust him to come forward. I can trust him to nonstop wrestle. I think Jonathan Pearce is going to win it because of that wrestling pace. Joanderson can be taken down. I'm going to be rooting hard for Joanderson Brito. I'd rather he win. I don't need to see another Grant Dawson.
My God.
I don't need to see another
dude,
Grant.
You have never.
Yeah, who's the annoying
You
one,
have
right?
never just
Never.
put your fucking nuts in your hand and just made a definitive pick in your life.
Well, I picked Jonathan Pearce, and I was just about to say I'm very confident in him to win this fight, and you can see that confidence level if you're a premium member. I will be rooting for Joanderson Brito, which is different than a bet, and you want to put your nuts on the table, I'll send you a $500 bet openly bet. I have Jonathan Pearce.
Go ahead, because I fucking smoked you last week when you said that, and you didn't even put the fucking bet. You were just like, ooh.
And who smoked who the week before? You ginger. Let's hear your pick.
Well, Joanderson Brito is the lock of the week, so he's going to dominate this. I mean, this is like last week with Diego Lopes just punched this dude in the face. We haven't seen Jonathan Pearce as chinny as a guy like Pat Sabatini. That was a very easy, obvious pick last week. But Joanderson Brito is a guy that is just, I mean, the danger that this guy possesses is just unreal. Not only in the striking, in the grappling as well, in the strength, in the athleticism. If you watch Jonathan Pearce in his last few fights, he's starting to get a little bit more comfortable in the striking. He went into the Darren Elkins fight going into pre-fight press conferences and interviews saying, I want to make a statement. I want the highlight finish. I want a front kick finish. He's trying to call his shot for these fights. He's a very confident guy. And there is reason for that. He is a good wrestler. He's a good nonstop kind of grappler. As Angelo mentioned, not totally great control, but he will just kind of work nonstop. He will get tired as well, but he kind of works through the tiredness. But he's gotten some confidence in his striking. He's trying to call his shot. And Darren Elkins is kind of lighting him up at times. I mean, he gets a little bit sloppy. He does get hit. If he comes in here and thinking, oh, let me knock out this guy, Joanderson, I add this to my highlight reel, dude's getting fucked up. I mean, the dude is getting fucked up. If he's coming in thinking, I'm just going to wrestle this guy immediately, it's going to be easy, he's going to get fucked up. He basically has to just kind of take his time and hope and pray that Joanderson Brito gets tired. If you want to just hope and pray and bet on a guy you're just hoping that the other guy gets tired, the more dangerous guy, the better striker, maybe even the better grappler of the two. If he backpacks Jonathan Pearce, he's going to get fucked up. If you guys are just hoping that this guy's going to get tired because, oh my God, he kind of got tired versus Bill Algeo. Against Bill Algeo in the second round, in the third round, who was the one moving forward? Who was the one that was constantly moving forward? It was still Joanderson Brito. He ended up losing that fight because he got taken down at the very end of that third round, but he was fucking up Bill Algeo in that first round. He was trying to force his own offensive wrestling. That's not the game plan here. Joanderson Brito, if you're in this, fucking just punch him in the face. Don't try to wrestle. Defend the takedowns. If you have a scramble and you can get the back, do that. But let's just stand there. Jonathan Pearce is going to do some crazy stuff. He thinks he's a striker. Stand there, fucking right hand down the pipe, knock this dude out, just like we saw Diego Lopes do it. Easy peasy, lock of the week. You got that bet sent or what? I mean, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, and hurry up because somebody already took 25% of it. So just go ahead and jump on and take the rest. It's in the private chat. Listen. We broke down the very first fight of this card, Jeka Saragih. Failed lock of the week, by the way. Every lock of the week wins. Failed lock of the week, Jeka Saragih. Failed lock of the week, Jeka Saragih. And what was Jacob's narrative when we broke down that fight?
If you want to keep going down this road, Charles Johnson was my anti-lock of the week. Cody Durden dominated. So there you go. Okay. Lock of the week, Cody Durden.
Anyway. Failed lock of the week, Jeka Saragih. Then we breaking him down the next time, and he says, oh, he just has a puncher's chance. It's just a puncher's chance. I'm very confident on the other side. What the hell are we looking at here? A puncher's chance. Joanderson's not the better wrestler. Joanderson's not the better anything except raw power, puncher's chance. Am I wrong?
No, yeah, you are fucking wrong. Puncher's chance. What are you talking about? He could win a fucking decision in this fight. He could fucking
how?
He can fucking submit this guy. He can do anything he wants. He's the better fighter of the two. What are you talking about? He was almost winning a decision versus Bill Algeo until he was taken down. He was winning that third round. He was taken down at the very end of the third round and lost that round. That's a very durable guy in Bill Algeo. We've seen Jonathan Pearce get tired too and act like an idiot.
Luckily, we put our money where our mouth is.
It's accepted.
And I do think, see, this guy's saying Brito's a stud. I 100% think Brito's a stud. I literally said I want Brito to win. Not now, because I have the money on it against Jacob. But the reality is, I do think, unless Jonathan Pearce is Grant Dawson level soft, which maybe, but unless he's Grant Dawson level soft.
Oh, there's your little out there. Well,
he's going to get the wrestling going.
I guess he was. I guess I wasn't wrong because I said
I hope
he was
not.
soft.
I just put $500. I just bet $500. To pretend, like I just put up $500. So obviously, I'm believing in what I'm saying. So shut your mouth. I am nervous about it, though, because Joanderson Brito does hit like a freight train. When he did the Chepe.
You're such a fucking clown.
I'm a reasonable human being, you fucking muppet. Shows up with that dumbass shirt singing songs. Like he's somebody who's going on a date with me. It's high school all over again for Jake. Pretty sure I know how that's going to go. I am on the Jonathan Pearce side, literally because of the wrestling. I think the wrestling is the difference. That $500 bet, more out of anger with Jacob than logic and principle. That was not a premium bet. It's not going to be on premium. It's not going to be on any of the.
You want a fucking power play right now? You want a power play right now? You want to see power?
What? Yeah, let's see it. The stolen, bitch. The Bud Light stolen from my house.
I basically just walked into Angelo's house just now, grabbed the fucking beer out of his fridge, left.
Is that authentic? I really hope this is authentic.
I actually did. No, I spilled on accident.
A little bit, yeah. Anyway, listen, I understand all the arguments for Joanderson Brito. I just don't think it's going to matter. I think that the nonstop wrestling, is going to be the difference here. But we'll find out.
Yeah, not
Are you
great.
live streaming this card?
I thought that would be a little bit more refreshing, but
a Bud Light's not very good. It's just an easy go-to.
It's like I think it's always like the middle of the pack, and that's what I thought when I bought him for. I didn't know what to buy my friend. I was like, I'll get Bud Light. Everyone will drink Bud Light, and he was like, oh, that's like the worst of the beers. It's like I thought that was like a middle of the pack beer. I drink,
but did he feel
Miller
that way
Lite or I mean
boycott?
Mick Ultra, Stella if I go out,
Did he feel that way before the boycott, or is that like a new?
No, I think that's just. I don't think he gives a shit about that. I think that was just a taste thing. I mean, he is a beer connoisseur, so. When
I first met you, you were a Miller Lite guy. I was drinking Bud Light because I'm not a huge beer guy.
Miller Lite.
Bud Light was just easy.
And if I go out, I usually if I go out on tap, I'll get Michelob Ultra or a Stella.
I'm not a big. I'd rather drink like everybody makes fun of me for drinking boxed wine, and there were a couple of.
I'll be honest with you. I'm a little drunk. I'm a little drunk now.
I see it. And now you should sing that poem. I drink boxed wine. And people like to make fun of me, but
guys, everyone's like Bud Light. There's a back. I don't drink. I never drink beer. I don't drink ever.
Typical Jacob.
But this is a. What are you talking?
Pinkies up.
Oh, I'm drinking into it. Story is my friend stole this from Angelo, put it in my fridge as a power play. So I just went and got it, cracked it open in front of Angelo to throw it in his face that I fucking own you, bitch.
Anyway, people make fun of me. Guys, sign up for premium, please. That's the end of this video. Now we'll finish this conversation. I drink boxed wine. People like to make fun of me for it. My brother-in-law is... Well, how much taller than me is Jay? 3 inches, 2 inches? My other brother-in-law is a good 5 inches taller than me. They're all big.
How much taller am I than your brother?
Whew. Than my brother, a good amount taller. Than me, a good amount shorter. Than my brother-in-law's.
Well, I mean, most brothers are about the same height. I'm way taller than your brother.
You are significantly taller than my brother, correct. as are my daughters.
Pressure Brito and he will struggle. No, he's going to knock you the fuck out.
See, there it is. That's literally the only point I was making, that we could trust Jonathan Pearce.
When have you ever seen that? He wasn't even pressured versus Bill Algeo. He tired himself out trying to offensive wrestle. Bill Algeo was never moving forward in that fight. So to say pressure him and he loses, Joanderson Brito was the one pressuring. He tired himself out. When have you ever seen somebody pressure Joanderson Brito and make him get tired? Diego Lopez tried to pressure him.
2 days. How'd that work out for Diego Lopez?
He got fucking smoked against Brito.
Yeah, he sure did. Anyway, let's just wrap this fucking... You're drinking your Bud Light, you got a little drunk, I get it. You're small. No, good for you. That's the point. We only drink to catch the buzz. Nobody's like, oh, this is delicious. I drink boxed wine. People like to clown me for it. Go check out Bota Box Nighthawk Chardonnay. It's 16% alcohol by volume. So, I don't want to hear that nonsense. My daughter is a Girl Scout. She's actually a little young, so she's not a Girl Scout. She's a, what the hell are they? It's like a Daisy. She's a Daisy. We just got the Girl Scout cookie letter thing the other day.
I would like 10 cases of Thin Mints, please.
Okay. We're going to see what the prizes are. I'm not going to use this channel to sell my daughter's Girl Scout cookies unless the prizes are good. Please. If the prizes are good, I will say, yeah, I'd love that. I appreciate genuinely.
I would like them that for the price of on the house.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not how it works. But
I think I do enough that you can cover me on those Thin Mints. I'll do a little kickback.
I'll buy you Thin Mints.
I'll give you a sleeve.
No, I'll buy you Thin Mints.
I'll throw you a sleeve your way.
I hate Thin Mints. I only like tag-alongs, and my daughter has that nerd allergy, so I can't even eat that shit in my own house anymore.
How do you fucking... Oh my God,
Thin Mints are stupid.
Dude. I feel like every day... I honestly feel like every day we grow farther apart.
You know what's funny? Here's another we got to move the fuck. We got this thing's an
hour.
Are we on fight 3?
Guys, this is literally shit. If me and Angela are on a phone call, this is it.
Oh my God. We're an hour into this. We're on fight 3.
Whoops.
Last thing I'm going to say, and then we'll move on. I was talking to my cousin before, also named Angelo.
I actually wrote your cousin a poem.
And
so nice.
I was talking about something. I said Alzheimer's, like
Alzheimer's.
the memory thing. And he goes, "Did you just say Alzheimer's?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "There's only one L, you idiot. It's Alzheimer's."
It's Alzheimer's. You don't even. It's just.
That's what I said.
Alzheimer's is how you say it. Not Alzheimer's. It's not German.
Well, either way, the argument was all or
Alzheimer's.
The argument was all or al, and I was like, "Dude, no fucking way. It's all." And I was like, and you say almond, so you're not gonna show up here correcting me saying almond. So I've won one. The point
is anybody still watching anymore?
There's actually almost 300 people watching, which is shocking. Let's go ahead. Maybe we don't need to break. What are we doing all this stuff? Breaking down.
We should just do a podcast like everyone else.
Bullshit about this. Those 2 Italian dudes from Jersey are spectacular. The basement,
man.
Whatever the hell.
I always send you their clips. Talking about the TikToks or whatever. Yeah.
I always send you their clips, and they're just screaming at each other.
One guy's always like, "What?" Like,
yeah, one's normal, one's ridiculous.
I would be the normal one.
Yeah, sure. I think it's the basement yard.
I am. I mean, we always have this conversation, but I am much more relatable to more people than you Northeast people.
Relatable to internet folk, and being normal are 2 very different statements.
Everyone in this chat is very normal, and I'm very much like them.
You're relatable to internet folk. I am a normal person that goes outside and functions in society. These are different statements. No offense to the 296 people.
You are the type of guy to walk up to a guy washing his Miata and say, "How's it going?" Because that's how we met.
And somehow the person washing the Miata wasn't the gay guy in this story?
I'm just washing my Miata, man. You're the one I'm just out there in the sun, shirt off, getting a nice little tan. Angel walks by.
One of
his
those
puppy
things
dog.
is objectively questionable.
I saw you got a puppy too. I've got one
there
as
are
well.
14 fights on this card, and we finished 4 of them. Next up, at UFC Vegas 82, we have Mick Parson taking on Caio Machado. Mick Parson, undefeated, 7-0. He's coming off a successful UFC debut, taking on Caio Machado. This guy is 8-1 overall. 5-0 in his last 5 with 6 stoppage wins overall. Mick's a decent-sized heavyweight. He's not massive, but he's a good-sized heavyweight. He does a really good job slowing the pace. He'll keep the fight how he wants to keep it. It's not going to be a high-energy thing if that's not where he wants it. If he wants a good pace, he'll set a good pace. If he wants to slow it down, he'll slow it down. He's going to come forward, throw 1-2s, get a hold of you, and he can take away your sting by doing that. And he's going to drag you down, slow you down, sort of lean on you. Decent BJJ. He will shoot some takedowns, and he will shoot his shot with submissions. We've seen him just, I don't want to say jump guillotine, pull guard and stuff like that, but he's had takedowns, been in scrambles, and just goes for it. Occasionally will lose the position because of it, but he will take his chance. More so than most heavyweights. He's not particularly fast, but he's going to wrestle. He is going to keep himself out of trouble by using the wrestling, using that offensive grappling. And he's coming off that UFC debut win over Jamal Pokes, taking on Caio Machado. This guy's a pretty well-rounded guy. New generation of heavyweight where he's not a massive guy. He's a normal-sized guy who can be fast and have cardio, move around about that 250 range. And he stays active instead of just being a monster and trying to cut down. He's not the cleanest striker in the division, but he does have a lot of volume, decent footwork. He's going to back up. He's going to throw counters. And then he's also going to push forward and light you up with some jabs, decent clinch work, okay takedowns. Underrated BJJ. He is more active than most, and he uses that cardio almost as a tool. These odds, it's another fight where I think the odds are a little bit concerning. Somebody earlier said, I think Angelo lets the odds sway him. This is going to be like the second of the 4 fights we've broken down. I'm going the underdog. Good size underdog here. I think Caio, this is not a super confident pick, but I think Caio can win this fight. I don't understand the wild hype with Mick Parsons. Yes, he can shoot, but Caio's going to be the busier striker. I think Caio's going to have the better cardio, and if he doesn't get sucked into being dragged down and slow down, I think Caio can have some success. I think Caio's going to have way more power. I think he's going to have more volume. The odds, this is the fight I was talking about earlier. I do my breakdowns, and then I look at the odds. I saw the Machado fight on Contender Series, where everybody's like, you look like shit. This is crazy. How could you? I saw that fight. I watched the Mick Parkins fight. And I did all my notes and all my breakdown before I looked at the odds. And then I looked at the odds, and I said, what the hell am I missing? I've got to be missing something. So I don't know what I'm missing. Jacob, I'll let you tell me what I'm missing. But I think Caio Machado can win this fight. I think Mick Parkin to be a more than 3-1 favorite seems a little bit wide to me. What do you think, Jakey boy? Tell me what I'm missing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't be a dick about it. I'm serious.
Sweating, huh? Getting hot. That blood
I just
pressure's
have
rising.
So much hair, and it's so thick sometimes it gets under the hat.
Yeah, rip it off. I got my haircut today. Got that
We
fresh
got to keep
man.
this pace going. Let's hear it.
Shit, got that fresh man. You know what I mean? Shit, you know what I mean? Looking good, smelling good, feeling good. Yeah, Mick Parkin.
Sorry, very quickly. He trains with Aspinall. There's plenty of shitty fighters that train with good fighters. Sorry, go ahead.
So Mick Parkin was a guy that I was very heavy on fading versus Jamal Pokes in his last fight, and the reason was I just didn't think he was that dude. I saw, like you mentioned, all the Aspinall stuff, and he's supposed to be this clean boxer, and leading up to that fight, I was like, I just don't see it. I think Jamal Pokes can come in, maybe get a takedown or two, and really kind of beat up on this guy Mick. And I was surprised. I mean, I think did I bet on Jamal? I don't know if I bet on Jamal, but I definitely picked Jamal. And I was surprised at the poise that Mick showed, the boxing that he showed, the toughness that he showed. He actually looked to me like a UFC caliber guy. When I'm watching this guy Caio Machado beat up on fucking 56-year-olds and being fully mounted by 45-year-olds, getting easily just tripped, taken down, and fully mounted by 45-year-olds, this dude ain't it, man. I mean, this dude ain't it. It's heavyweights. Maybe something weird happens or whatever. Minus 300 is probably a little bit wide. One of these guys is a UFC caliber guy that you've seen improvements coming. Caio, maybe he comes in and surprises people. I don't fucking know. I mean, heavyweights, I'm always very anti-heavyweight or whatever. This is the one heavyweight that I actually have bet on, Mick, because I think it's a level of competition for Caio. I mean, you see all these first-round finishes. I mean, he's beating up on 45, 56-year-olds on the regional scene, and at some point struggling with that. So I don't think Caio's that dude, man.
Yeah, listen, I didn't come here and say this.
25% of his wins are against a 56-year-old.
He has 8 wins, dude.
Yeah, 25% of his wins. What would that math be? 2 of his wins.
2 of his wins.
Against
But
Lee
he's not
May,
actually,
What
he's
was
not
that?
actually 56. How old is he?
He's literally 56 years old.
Now
his
he
nickname,
is. Not
his
when
nickname
they
is
fought.
the Grampinator.
Not when he
nickname is-
fought.
He
wasn't
fought 2 years
that-
ago, so he's 54 years old. Sorry.
Thank
He's
you so
54.
much. Thank
the
you. See,
Grampinator.
now we get it. Ooh, I just got a Facebook account recovery code. That's not good. Somebody's hacking my shit. Listen, I get it. But let's go back to your narrative all the time, always. Heavyweights are sloppy. Heavyweights suck. This, that. And now here we are with a 3+ favorite heavyweight who hasn't shown us that he's like insanely dangerous. He doesn't have insane power. He just kind of slows the pace, gets going what he wants to get going. Yeah, he's got some composure. He's not a bum. I'm not saying Mick Parkin suck. I'm saying Caio Machado has a ton of volume, good cardio, and he can stay in his face and he can squeak out this win. That's what I'm saying.
Good luck.
All right. $7,000 in DraftKings as a heavyweight, not against an established heavyweight. I think that's decent money. You disagree?
It's going to be sloppy, man. I can see Kyle just on his back doing fuck for shit for 3 rounds, to be honest with you.
I mean, Mick does have that offensive wrestling. That's the one thing that it's like, is that why the odds are what they are? But Machado's got some underrated BJJ. BJJ. That guy's the Grampinator. It says Aider in his name. Everybody knows that means devastating. Become a premium member. We want picks.com. Click become a member. I'll tell you right now. You become a premium member. You go look at all the things. There's that full suite of DraftKings information telling you who you should put in your cash lineups, who you should put in your tournament lineups. I don't write that shit. If you disagree with what I'm saying here, somebody far more well-versed in DraftKings fantasy is writing that for you. WeWantPicks.com. Click become a member. It is only $10 a month.
I'm starving.
Yeah, let's go. You're the one telling all these stupid-ass stories. Next up, at UFC Vegas 82, we have Lucie Pudilova taking on Ailin Perez. Lucie Pudilova, 14-8 overall, 3-2 in her last 5. She's coming off that controversial decision loss to Jocelyn Edwards. She's taking on Ailin Perez, 8-2 overall, 3-2 in her last 5. She's coming off that one-sided grappling win over Ashley Evans Smith. Jacob said this best when he texted the group chat, or maybe it was just me the other day. He said something like, everybody just lost their ass on Mackenzie Dern, and here they are showing up to lay out 2-1 odds on Ailin Perez next week. And I get it. Like it feels very, very similar to that. But I think there's a few differences here. Lucie Pudilova, yeah, she could be a powerful striker. She likes to circle, throw big, heavy 1-2s. But she doesn't have a ton of volume. She does stay busy. She does throw with intent. She recently has started to work in takedowns. She's had 4 takedowns in her last 2 fights.
She's
but
hot.
She looks very like happy, perky, like positive energy. Somebody you want to be around all the time. 3-6 in the UFC, but she is coming off that loss to Jocelyn Edwards. What I will say, she won that fight. She beat Jocelyn Edwards in that fight. I think that was a bad decision. So let's say she's, instead of 3-6, she's 4-5 in the UFC. Ailin Perez, everybody knows she twerks her way through social media. Lately, she's been like teasing like that she's in straight up porn. So I'm sure you guys were all rushing. We're going to watch our live view count drop. Yeah, everybody's rushing to Instagram to check that out. But she's been teasing that. But the reality is, she showed us in her last fight that she can wrestle. She literally set the divisional takedown record. She had 10 takedowns in that fight. She set the record, the bantamweight women's record for most takedowns in a fight. She showed she had a ton of cardio. She showed that she can continue a pace, but she also showed that she's got no control whatsoever. She'll get the takedown. She'll hang out on top. She'll fall off. You'll stand up. She'll get another takedown. I still think she wins this fight. I think minus 180. I broke this fight down on Sunday. She was minus 150. I thought that was a good deal. I think minus 180 is still kind of a decent deal. If we get the Ailin Perez from her last fight, who's just going to non-stop wrestle, I think she's worth the money. I think she absolutely gets it done. Obviously, we don't have a giant sample size. We don't have 30 fights to go through. The last fight felt like the new version of her, but I'm just going to trust that that's her. Lucie Pudilova, I don't think she's has the takedown defense to get this going. So I'm going to trust Ailin Perez to shoot 1 million takedowns, get it done. She is the divisional record holder, and I'm going to lean on that. Jakey boy, what do you think?
Yeah, and as you mentioned, there's people that are like loading up on Ailin and like making her like an anchor for like parlays and stuff. And I'm telling you right now that I know that last fight she came in, she looked great, she got all these takedowns and stuff. Ashley Evanson-Smith is a girl that had no idea what the fuck she was doing. And Ailin Perez still at times wasn't necessarily struggling, but as you mentioned, couldn't really keep the positions. Long story short, Ailin Perez should have fucking finished Ashley Evanson-Smith in the first 3 minutes of that fight. I mean, the level of competition, the discrepancies in what supposed talent level, the way that people are betting Ailin Perez this week, she should have smoked Ashley Evanson-Smith.
She did.
We saw in the fight. She should have fucking finished her, dude. She fucking.
Yeah, but
there was moments where she just kind of laying on
her.
her, looking in her corner, like, "What do I do now?" Ashley Evanson-Smith should have even fucking been in there. She should have finished her. If you are who you're supposed to be, and you want to be a big favorite, and she's not like a big favorite, you need to finish people that aren't on your level. Ashley Evanson-Smith should have been on her level. She got the takedowns. Those are the easiest takedowns I've ever seen. Just grab her, a little trip, and Ashley Evans just fell down. I mean, it was the easiest thing. And yeah, she was able to control that fight. But we've seen her in a fight when things aren't easy. Against Stephanie Egger, who is a judo practitioner, has some jiu-jitsu. Ailin Perez was working some wrestling, but when things got tough, when things got dirty, when things got nasty, she fucking folded. She folded. She got finished. UFC debut is what it is.
Short
but against
notice,
Lucie,
UFC debut.
Against Lucie, Lucie is a girl that's going to have the striking advantage. No question about that. She's going to have the striking advantage. And we've seen since her UFC resurgence, all of a sudden, she knows how to wrestle. She knows how to wrestle. She was getting very good takedowns against Jocelyn. Got absolutely fucked in that decision. What have I said before? And I said that against Jocelyn. I said when Jocelyn won that decision, she owes something to the universe. She came in against Nora in France and lost a terrible decision. Lucie got absolutely screwed against Jocelyn. The universe owes her something. And in this fight, I think that she could get the takedowns needed, win the striking to win this fight. I'm still taking Ailin because she is going to be the more physical fighter. She is going to be the more physical fighter. And I think in this fight, it might just come down to strength. But as far as like betting her and putting her in parlays, I think this is going to be a very close fight. And if it comes down to a close fight, the universe owes something to Lucie Pudilova. I would be very careful with this one.
Yeah, this whole universe narrative, you had that same bullshit against Nazim Sadikov last week.
And what happened?
He fucking almost put that dude out.
He got a draw on a fight that he should have probably won. Right. He didn't put
He lost 2 rounds.
Won.
He lost 2 rounds.
He should have He should have put that, and the fight should have been stopped. It wasn't. Guess what? Okay. His win ended up being a draw.
Congrats.
So there you go.
Hey, would you like? I'll throw another 500 on this.
Thank you for bringing that up. We picked the same fighter.
So. Absolute clown shoe.
Talking
about Ailin Perez, the clown shoe comment of the month.
We both picked the same fighter, but let's bet against each other.
Dude, the clown shoe comment of the month is Jacob saying Ailin Perez didn't dominate her last fight. It's an absolute joke. You say
she
nonsense.
Did dominate. She should have finished her. Why
no. You said she didn't dominate. She should be dominating, and she didn't, is what you said.
She should have finished.
Meanwhile, she did dominate. She beat that girl's ass every minute of that fight.
Should have finished her.
No, not everybody's a finisher. You know who else?
Oh, not everybody's a finisher. Oh.
You know who had 12 decisions in their career?
She has 5 finishes and 8 fights, but couldn't finish the worst girl she's ever fought. Go on, though.
So you don't think the talent level improves when you move up to a different organization?
Ashley Evanson-Smith is a regional fighter who hadn't fought in 5 fucking years, had no idea what she was doing.
Absolute dumb dick.
Go on,
George St. Pierre has 12 decisions. Couldn't finish anybody. But yeah, he sucks. If you're not finishing these people, you suck. Shut up, nerd. Shut up. I think Ailin Perez dominates this fight. I do not think she should be in multiple parlays. Certainly one parlay. Hey, AKA can leave. That's fine. I have Ailin Perez in a parlay, but I just have her in one parlay, not multiple. I don't think you should ever be overly exposed to one fighter. I think if we've learned anything in the last couple of weeks, Gabriel Bonfim, fucking Grant Dawson, and a bunch of these other people, if we've learned anything, Mackenzie Dern, you don't overly expose yourself to some of these people. One parlay.
You shouldn't expose yourself to anyone without consent, Angelo.
So I can't go by the bus stop. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. You will unlock all the picks, all the bets, round line leans, everything you could ever want heading into fight week. And you're going to see Jacob and I do disagree on fights. So see his bets, see my bets, and decide what makes sense for you and your thoughts on that fight as well. $8,600 in DraftKings. I think she's going to be worth it. I think this is going to look exactly like her last fight. Maybe instead of 10 takedowns, she'll get 6. Either way, she's worth that money. Do you think she's worth the money? You picked her to win.
Was that a Freudian slip saying sex?
I said 6.
Oh, did you? Sex takedowns, huh?
I'll have to check now. I thought I said 6. You think she's worth the $8,600 in DraftKings?
Nope.
Really? You think she wins, but she's not going to get enough takedowns to cover
I said
that?
It's going to be a close fight. I think she could lose. I don't think she's going to get the takedowns she thinks she's going to get. And if she doesn't get it, she's fucked.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's fucking crazy, dude. Next up, at UFC Vegas 82, we have Nikolas Motta taking on Trey Ogden. Trey Ogden, 16-6 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off that decision loss to Ignacio Bahamondes. He's taking on Nikolas Motta, 13-5 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off that knockout loss to Manuel Torres. Motta is very good here, opening a -225 favorite. That has tightened quite a bit to -117, but he's a good striker. He's explosive. He's athletic. He moves well. He's got good speed, good diversity, solid takedowns. Takedown defense currently sits at 100%, and that allows him to really let his hands go. And he's taking on Trey Ogden. This guy's an athletic grappler, solid takedowns, decent power in his hands. He is a grappler, but if you run through his tape, you'll see that there's more than one fight where he dropped his opponent and then snatched up a neck or something like that. Takedowns are well-timed. He does an excellent job of lowering his level, shooting blast doubles when his opponents come in or when they overcommit. He did lose to Ignacio Bahamondes, where he just seems tentative and didn't let his hands go or anything like that. This is an interesting fight because it's mostly striker versus grappler. Nikolas Motta going to be the better striker. Trey is durable. He's going to be the better grappler. He's got relentless pressure. Nikolas Motta is going to have to stay busy on his feet, keep this out of a wrestling rhythm. Trey is tough, but I think Motta's going to get this done. This is likely an over 2.5. Going to go to a decision type play, but I think Nikolas Motta is going to get this done. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, if Trey Ogden had any sort of power, and maybe he's able to find his power in this matchup, because we've seen Nikolas Motta get absolutely, fucking destroyed in that last knockout, and he's got knocked out before as well, so he's definitely a chinny dude. If Trey Ogden's able to push on the pressure and find the chin, maybe he's able to knock him out. If I knew that he was going to commit to the wrestling, against Bahama Mama, he just decided I'm just going to dance around with this Chilean kickboxer and just hope for the best, which was not a good gameplay. He actually did all right, but if I knew that he was going to go all in on the wrestling, I think I would pick him. I definitely think he's a decent dog here just because of the discrepancies in Motta that we've seen in previous fights, but I am going to go Motta here. He still does have that wild left hook. If Trey is going to stand in front of him, he might catch it, so I'm going Motta here. I don't love it.
Does the Motta loss to Jim Miller worry you a little bit? Oop, this way.
Well, he said he got knocked out, and then he got knocked out cold his last fight. So.
Yeah, and Jim Miller's an old-ass grappler, and Trey's not even that old.
Trey's never had a knockout finish, so this could be the first one. We'll see. There could be some decent value on there.
Yeah, he could definitely, this is fighting and anything could happen, but I am pretty confident in Motta to get it done because I think the takedown defense will hold up. We've seen it hold up so far, and then obviously he's going to be the far better striker. So, to your point, though, the power could change things, but we haven't seen it just yet. $8,300 in DraftKings. The only reason I'm not full bore Motta on that is because Trey Ogden is a durable guy. He's a tough guy. And I can just see this being a decision where Nikolas Motta is landing strikes, but no real meaningful control time, no takedowns, anything like that. You think Motta's worth the $8,300 or Trey Ogden at $79,000? You need underdogs in your lineup.
Pass.
pass. It is WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It is only $10 a month. And we had a sign up not 4 minutes ago from Denzel. That sounds made up. I promise you it is not. Thank you, Denzel S. Next up, at UFC Vegas 82, we have the first of two switcheroos in the last couple of days. We have Denis Tiuliulin stepping up on short notice to take on Christian Leroy Duncan. Denis Tiuliulin, 11-8 overall.
You don't even know what that video is.
I have seen that video clip 10 million times.
What is it?
Leroy Jack. He just runs out, ruins their whole game plan, and starts fucking fighting.
What game was it?
World of Warcraft. Fucking nerd.
So do any other quote except for the Leroy quote. What were they talking about?
I am not here saying that I'm some stupid nerd that knows all internet
just say you didn't know. So
history.
just say I don't know.
I am saying you're saying you don't even know what that's from, and then I said yes I do. Quoted exactly what it was from, provided the context, and yet here you still are trying to be the nudge that you were born to be. Denis Tiuliulin, 11-8 overall, 2-3 in his last 5. He's coming off that loss to Gregory Rodriguez. He's taking on Christian Leroy Duncan. That is a very famous quote from an all-time game that I've played many times. 8-1 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that first professional loss of his career. This is an interesting fight, and the line suggests otherwise. But Denis Tiuliulin's a fun fighter. He's a come-forward fighter, always hunting for a finish. The problem is he will get sucked into slug fights, and he can be sort of fast and ugly and high-paced in those fights. But he can.
You know how you get rid of? You know how you stop those fights?
How?
Little salt.
What?
Sprinkle a little salt.
What am I missing?
Just a little salt. They shrivel up.
What am I missing?
You said he gets into slug fights. So you just a little salt.
Oh, slug fest, I said.
Well, you said slug fights, but so if you want to break up some slugs that are fighting, just a little salt.
Oh, no, dude. Nothing more sadistic as a little kid than melting slugs with some salt.
Oh, what I just said.
When you first discovered it,
Nice.
no, I'm agreeing with you. Yeah, when you first, did you ever successfully burn an ant with a magnifying glass? I never did.
I'll be honest with you. I wasn't one of those fucking weirdo kids, Angela. I was just out living my life, not trying to destroy other living beings. So
I'm not a weird kid.
I was
Just
out on the
jumps
basketball court playing basketball. I was playing street hockey,
street
pick
hockey,
up football games.
football
street
at
hockey
your
all the time.
size. That's incredible. What a real Rudy underdog story we got going on.
I mean,
here.
one of us isn't like an actual athlete that can do pretty much any sport, and the other one can just kind of lay on people because they're fat.
Okay, which one has the?
Yeah, I'll let the chat guess which is which.
Okay. Thank you, Luke, Mick, and I'm not going to say the rest of his last name, for becoming a premium member. Anyway, Denis Tiuliulin can get caught up in a slugfest. He's a decent striker. He's got good power. He can keep things ugly. He can keep things fast. He does have some grappling holes, though. He gets taken down. You can pretty much do what you want from there. Takedown defense is solid at 69% on paper, but in actual execution and in reality, if he's taken down, he's a bit of a fish out of water. And Gregory Rodriguez really showed us that in his last fight. He's taking on Christian Leroy Duncan. This guy was a touted prospect, high-pressure guy, 7 finishes and 8 wins, multiple regional championships, powerful striker. He will spin. He will do all sorts of fun stuff while striking. Almost too fun. He's coming off that loss and to Armin Petrosian, and in that loss, it was because literally Armin stuck to the basics. Armin's like, I'm a good striker. I'm going to strike with technique. And Christian was spinning around. Christian was trying to be fun, and he lost because of that. So this is an interesting fight because if Denis could stay composed and keep it technical, he could have that exact same success Armin has had. But Denis is not that guy. He's going to get in your face. He's going to try to be fun. He's going to swing hard. He's going to look for the finish. And I think that's actually where Christian will have some success. So Christian's going to be the pick here. Minus 400 are his current odds. I don't have a bet on him just yet. I may place something on him. And, you know, Denis is showing up on short notice. He is 2-3 in his last 5. He doesn't have, like, the wildest, insane power in the world, but he does have some power. And Christian was preparing for an Alex Pereira-style striker, and now he's got Denis Tiuliulin. So Christian's going to be the pick, but if he comes out spinning, doing crazy stuff, Denis could have some success. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, it's always like a major, and I'm talking major red flag when undefeated fighters meet adversity for the first time, and then they just start acting like, oh, I don't care. Like we saw that with Blake Builder. We see that all the time with these guys. It's like, oh, I'm gonna lose, so let me just act like I don't care. Let me do the wild spinning stuff, and then if I lose, it's like, oh, well, if I would have tried, if I would focus, I would have won that fight, but I wasn't even trying. We see that happen all the time. If you ever watch Angelo play wiffle ball, exact same thing, right? I mean, he's getting smoked, and it's like, oh, I wouldn't even try. I'll start trying now. So if he comes into this fight, as you mentioned, and starts acting that same type of way, this could turn into an interesting fight. Denis Tiuliulin has a very special place in my heart because he was number 10 of my 10 lock of the week streak. Beat Jamie Pickett. Goes down as one of the greatest lock of the weeks in my mind of all time because he's won one fight in the UFC, and that's when he was my lock of the week. Same with Dustin Stoltzfus. Dustin Stoltzfus is 1-4, I think, in the UFC. His one win was when he was my lock of the week. That's how good I am at picking these lock of the weeks. It's crazy. But in this fight, he's probably going to struggle. I mean, CLD is the much better fighter. If I'm CLD, I definitely use some of the grappling that he tried to show against Petrosian. He wasn't able to get that, but Denis Tiuliulin is a guy that can't get taken down, kind of get held down as well. But even if you want to kind of be flashy against Denis, I mean, you can probably knock him out as well. So Denis probably isn't that dude in this matchup, but CLD is kind of a hard dude to trust because if this starts getting tough again, you don't know how he's going to react.
I actually agree 100% with everything you said. I do like it's a good point of the whole like, oh, I'm barely trying. Because like, nah, you're trying. You just realize this is not a winnable fight.
It's like you're trying to make an excuse. Yeah. It's like you're trying to make an excuse to yourself too. That's like who used to? Oh my God, who said this? Oh, it was John Jones. John Jones used to say. Before fight, the reason why he used to get hammered and stuff the weekend before fights was in case he lost, he could be like, "Oh, well, that was
Mike
why."
Tyson, yeah.
He literally said that. He said the weekend before, I would always get out, do cocaine, get trashed. That way, if I lost the fight, I could always go back on that and be like, "Oh, well, if I didn't do that, I would have won." And it never turned out. I mean, he never lost. So, but it's kind of like that same. It's kind of like that same concept. Like, oh, I'm losing. I mean, like, oh, but if I would have tried, So.
Well, it's a similar. That's what Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson, and nobody talks about Buster Douglas had a good fight. Everybody talks about but Mike Tyson. Was
Buster
a mess
Douglas had like a standing 12 count. He should have lost that fight.
But you get my point. It's the same general idea that people talk about. But see, here's the problem, man. I try to reel this whole thing in, try to clean it up. I agree with you a little bit. I have a counterpoint. Then you're making your fucking dumbass faces, acting like you fucking.
I didn't even do anything. That's a fact of the matter. Just added an antidote. I literally just added an antidote. You were talking about Buster. He lost that fight. He had a standing 12 count.
Yeah, this fucking guy. It's $8,500 in DraftKings. You think that's worth it? Probably. I think so. It's great. Glad you do too. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It's only $10 a month. And you'll unlock everything. Picks, bets, round line leans, confidence levels, safety parlay, tools, insight, information. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member.
Are we on the Ribas on the Amanda fight yet?
It's next.
Let's just skip this one. Uros smokes him. Let's go.
Do you really think that?
I think he's got that ability, yeah. This dude's not very
Weren't
good.
we texting each other and you were texting the exact opposite of that notion just yesterday?
Well, I think my lock of the week would have been Johnny Parsons versus Uros, but this is a different fight.
Yeah, but you literally yesterday I pointed out somebody else and you were like, "Oh, but they're Yeah, you're not going to make me out to be a fool right now. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I don't know. I picked Uros, so I don't think the guy that we can just do.
Let's go ahead.
Right now if you want. But.
Yeah, we'll do it and we'll do it quickly. But that is not the text message energy I was getting yesterday in the cab.
I haven't even watched film until today. I watched film for the first time.
Okay. Well, then that's the point you make right now when I say that.
So how could I have an opinion when I haven't watched film, Angelo? Story
Tell
of
that to
Meta?
your, I don't know, ask your text message.
I think we were just talking about somebody else.
I said so-and-so bet this guy.
Oh, we were talking about, we can just say it right now. We were talking about the MMA Minute, and you said that he bet him. And I said, yeah, I think he was going to bet Uros no matter what because he had Uros versus Johnny Parsons. So then now Uros' dog odds is like, yeah, he probably loves it even more. A short notice guy with dog odds, he probably loves Uros. That's all I said.
But you positioned it as, well, he's an Uros fan. He's going to pick him no matter what.
What? That has not. But again, even if that's the story, which it isn't, it has nothing to do with me or my opinion. You just framed this whole argument like I had an opinion on Uros Medic losing the fight. I was just talking about the MMA Minute, which is part of premium, guys. If you go to WeWantPicks.com, sign up for premium. It's only $10 a month. You can get his picks as well, and you can see those.
I'm not going to read all these texts because you'll get arrested. But maybe I'm wrong. Hold on. Maybe I'm wrong.
Anyway, guys, while he looks for that, I'm not going to kill the stream here. I like Uros in this fight. I'm definitely worried. I haven't bet on Uros. I'm picking him for this fight. I definitely worry about his chin. My biggest thing in the last few weeks is these guys that constantly get dropped in fights. Uros is a guy that got dropped against Jalen Turner. He got dropped in his last fight as well. You cannot trust these guys that have these chins against power punchers. And this other guy, Orolbai, is a powerful puncher. But his level of competition isn't great. The way that he's able to get hit in the pocket is not great. I know a lot of people are thinking he's going to get the takedowns and maul this guy. Uros has good takedown defense. And if this stays a striking match, Uros is the better striker. And he fucking puts people out. And he has shown that he was kind of a first-round guy. He has shown that he can kind of weather that storm and kind of work through positions. I am going to be worried about his chin, but Uros is a better striker, and I think it's a mostly striking matchup. And honestly, if I didn't have Joanderson Brito as my lock of the week, and Uros didn't have the kind of chin that I've seen, Uros would probably be the lock of the week in this matchup. I think he's a better striker.
I picked Uros as well. You
didn't find the text, though. I get it.
It was in the cab. It was a phone call. That's why I didn't find the text. We didn't talk in the cab yesterday for an hour.
Okay.
What a joke. What a joke. Anyway, but to your point, it was anyway. You made it sound like you're like, well, I think he's an Uros nut rider or something like that because he had him bet before that. It was positioned as if, well, he's going to bet Uros no matter what. I don't think this other guy's that good, and then you picked Uros. Anyway, I did pick Uros as well. Myktybek is how you pronounce his name. Shout out Artem. He DM'd me. Hey, just so you know, this is how you pronounce that guy's name. So thank you, Artem. He's a fun grappler. He's going to strike a little bit and then fully commit to the wrestling no matter what. His striking is stiff. It is wide. He is hittable, but his wrestling and grappling pressure are non-stop. Plenty of cardio, plenty of power, good chin, sets a nice pace. And I like to watch losing fighters, right? I like to see a fighter who has a loss. I'll watch the loss. He does have a loss. I did watch the loss. It honestly wasn't bad. He never stopped coming forward. He didn't get the wrestling going, but he never stopped coming forward. To your point, when we broke down the previous fight, CDL was like spinning, making up excuses like you were saying. Where
CDL, huh? You get your CDL license, did you? CLD, possibly?
CLD was spinning around in circles, building in excuses where, did you watch the Orolbai fight that he lost?
Have watched every single fight from every single fighter.
There you go.
Every single everything.
Dude didn't stop. He kept, we can agree, right? Like
bombs.
He fine, but in that loss, he kept coming forward. He kept pressuring.
Watch how much he was hit in his last fight. I mean, he was getting lit
that's
up.
my whole breakdown here. All my raw notes are on the website for premium members. He gets hit too much. Uros Medic hits too good, hits too hard. Uros Medic should win this fight. But if Myktybek can get that grappling going, it could be a problem for Uros. So far, his takedown defense is 80%, but that's a bit misleading. He only defended 4 takedowns in 5 fights. So it's relatively unproven. But I am going to lean, very, very low Uros Medic here because the short notice, the striking, all that. But if this guy gets his grappling going, he's good to go. Do you trust Uros Medic at $8,900 in DraftKings?
I'm not worried about the the grappling. I'm just worried about Uros' chin more than anything. So no.
Because this guy will come forward and just swing wild. He does get hit though, but he seems to have a chin himself. But this is an interesting fight. I'm looking forward to it. I think this is I don't know. I'm interested.
Happy birthday, Ray. Ray's an OG. Wish him happy birthday, man. He said
it's his birthday. I don't see it. I just see Skull laughing. Oh, here you go. You guys found out it was my birthday and did a special episode just for me. Wow.
That was it?
Yes, we did. Lots of arguing. Random Thursday, but happy birthday, Ray.
Angelo's drunk as shit.
You know what's funny? This has been water the whole time.
I bet it. Yeah, I bet it has. I bet it has.
Twist.
Yeah, that's what your attitude says.
My attitude is it's a Thursday, not a Tuesday, and I've been in New York City all week, and everybody knows,
You've
including
got the
Tiffany.
shakes.
Everybody knows, including Tiffany, when I go to New York, when I come back from New York, I'm a different person. I've been my origins fill my body back up, and I come back to this swamp.
You turn into a fucking rat.
I just remind people, you guys are soft. I am not. Thank you so much.
I will
dominate this conversation going forward.
Yeah, I mean, that's just insecurities. But see, I can sit back and I can just be calm and casual because I'm not insecure. But you're the one that needs to be loud and yelling.
No, that is not. Listen, you.
That was the defining moment of the Fight Foods was me on the couch doing my own thing, very very secure in who I am, and you just being so
doing my
insecure
own thing
in the
was
moment,
sleeping
being
under
so
a blanket,
insecure in the moment that you just had to just keep attacking me. I'm just sitting here watching fights, looking at my friend.
What was the attack? What was the attack? Jacob say something.
Every
Jacob
2 minutes, you were like, "What's this fucking guy's problem? What's a fucking nice pick, nice
That's
pick."
Not true.
I hope Diego Lopez getting fucking smoked.
You're just making shit.
I'm not making that.
Obviously, I was hoping Diego Lopez would get smoked. I picked Sabatini. So
dude,
yes,
every time you'd be like, "Nice pick," or "Oh, I bet you missed that bet." You just random. I would just be like, "What the fuck is going on?"
More false narratives.
This
is just fake news. We're gonna have to live stream them now so we can see. We'll have to live stream them now so we can see. And everybody will just watch you take your little nap in the corner, pop up when you know the camera's on, and then lay back down for your nap. Orolbai, 11-1. Like Jacob said, relatively unproven, but that one loss showed us a lot. We learned a lot in that loss. He is tough. He will come forward no matter what. I'm more worried about the wrestling than you are. You're worried about the striking. I'm worried about the wrestling. But I think Uros, full camp, can dance around, make it happen. He was training for another powerful striker, so that's why I'm not worried about Orolbai's striker, but certainly I don't think he was prepared for wrestling, and that may happen here. So Jacob and I are on the same side of this pick. WeWantPicks.com. You want to unlock all the bets, all the things. Click Become a Member at the top. Next up, at UFC Vegas 82, we have Luana Pinheiro taking on Amanda Ribas. I do have a bet on this fight. I'll mention my bet in a minute. But first, we got Luana Pinheiro, 11-1 overall. 5-0 in her last 5. She is riding a 9-fight win streak. She's taking on Amanda Ribas, welcoming her back to the strawweight division. 2-3 in her last 5. She is alternating wins and losses. Amanda Ribas, very well-rounded fighter. Started her career as a grappler, evolved the striking game, became a very solid striker, and now she's just well-rounded. She'll hang out with the striking. She'll work in takedowns, has very good jiu-jitsu. At 125, she felt strong and big and can make some stuff happen. At 115, she certainly did that. She started at 15, went to 25, is back down to 15. So this is not a new weight class. We need to be worried. What does weight cut look like? All that stuff. But overall, well-rounded fighter. She did just get finished against Macy Barber because she gets sucked in the brawls. And she's
that was early stoppage.
Well, she's a fighter who gets sucked in the fighting. Good for her.
And she was dominating that fight. She did exactly what I thought she was going to do in that fight, and that was take Macy Barber and just throw her ass to the ground. She just couldn't keep the control as well as I thought she was going to. But she was tossing Macy around.
Yeah, she at 125, she was a bully. So at 115, yes, this is her first time back.
She was tossing Caitlin Chukagian around. It's a big-ass girl.
She's big. Big ass.
Lily, those stupid head and arm throws that we absolutely hate. But, even big-ass Caitlin, she, jumped up and grabbed her, just fucking tossed her to the ground.
I'm telling you, I'm not positive. This was, you might remember this. This is maybe a year ago, 2 years ago. I went to New York City for this same exact work trip. And Caitlin Chukagian walked right past. And I remember being like, who is that? That girl's pretty. Who is that? I was like, holy fuck, that was Caitlin Chukagian. And I could have been wrong. I just think it was because she literally had like a duffel bag. You use some logic. Anyway,
a lot of times I say like this person sucks or I hate this person. It's all in jest.
You genuinely
Except for
hate
Caitlyn.
Caitlyn.
I hate Caitlyn.
Makes no sense.
Dude, she just as many bullshit decisions. She won Amanda beat her ass. And she somehow won that decision. She beat Vivi somehow. Vivi beat her fucking ass, and she somehow just punching air, making noise, and the judges are like, "Oh my god, she's doing so well! Oh my god!"
Well, anyway, she's taking on Luana Pinheiro, and Luana is 11-1 with a ton of finishes, especially for the women's division. Powerful striker, solid takedowns. 3 takedowns per fight on average. She will swing wild. She will run forward. High volume. Lots of knockdowns. Aggressive jiu-jitsu. And she is coming off that win over Michelle Waterson. If you look at the stats, she went 0 for 5 on takedowns. Not great. Landed fewer strikes. Not great. And she was taken down. Not great. But this is an interesting matchup because Luana Pinheiro is by far the more dangerous fighter in this matchup. By far. I think Amanda Ribas is the better fighter in this matchup. Amanda's the pick. Pretty confident in that pick. She was a bully at 25. She can be a bully at 15. Luana's takedowns just did not get going in her last fight. I don't know if she'll get them going in this fight. She does have power in her hands. Ribas was just knocked out, but Ribas should be able to get her own takedowns and control to avoid any danger on the feet. But the bet that I have is Luana Pinheiro inside the distance decision, no action. I teased this on the Quick Picks video. I did end up placing it. I got it at plus 120. Not the greatest odds in the world, but frankly, worst case scenario, I get a refund. Best case scenario, I get paid at plus 120 without the risk. So Ribas is the pick, but I bet on the more dangerous fighter, and I do get a full refund if it just, if she loses the decision, which is the more likely outcome. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, here's what's going to happen in this fight. And if you guys want to rewind to the beginning of this stream, I did shoot my shot, and I did ask Amanda Ribas out on a date officially. That was the actual real deal. Wrote a whole poem and everything. So rewind to the beginning of the stream if you haven't. That was a great moment. And I'm telling you right now, this is what's going to happen. Amanda Ribas is one of the most dominant fighters I have ever seen in my entire life. I mean, her judo is incredible. She's mixed in some wrestling. She's got some wrestling. You saw her jiu-jitsu against Vivi. You've seen the strike, and she dropped a girl like Vivi, who we just saw had a big win. She had a big win, right? Vivi came off that's the underdog. She came and won that fight that nobody thought she was going to win. Drop Vivi. I mean, we've seen her dominate the bigger girls in Caitlyn. I mean, she is just overall tit for tat the best fighter I have ever seen in my life. And this is exactly what's going to happen. She's going to get some takedowns in the first round, either with her judo or with her wrestling, whatever she decides. It's up to her. She's going to have some success in the striking, lead to the wrestling. She's going to start wearing down Luana in this fight. Second round, going to do the same thing, get this fight to the ground. Luana is going to try to scramble out of a position 2 or 3 minutes into the second round. And Amanda is finally going to find another finish, get that redemption off the Macy Barber fight. In the second round, she's going to get a submission win. And here's how it's going to play out. She is going to get matched up against Lucie Godinez at UFC 300. It's going to be the fight of the year, and Amanda Ribas is not only going to win that fight, she's going to finish Lucie. I love Lucie, but she's going to finish Lucie, and then she is going to work her way into the title picture for a title shot in the summer of 2024. She is going to win that belt on whoever has it at that point. I don't know who's going to end up with it at that point. We're going to have a title fight in there between. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter who's going to have the belt. Amanda is going to win that belt. Then she is going to go back up to 125 because she's going to be the champ. She's going to be champ, 115, 125 by the time 2025 rolls around. And she's going to go down as the most dominant female fighter we have ever seen in our generation of all time. She's going to go down as the most dominant fighter I've ever seen in my life. So that's how it's going to play out. She's going to dominate Luana, dominate Lucie, win the belt, go to 125, win that belt, maybe defend them 3 or 4 times each, whatever she decides to do. I mean, she's the best fighter I've ever seen. She's going to dominate this matchup. I've never been so confident in her.
You change your last name, you two get married?
I'll do anything. I'll do whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought so. I was just curious.
I'll change my first name.
I'll change my first name.
It doesn't matter. Fucking whatever.
That's true love. Nobody's ever changed their first name for somebody. Congratulations. Anyway, we're both on the same side here. I think if it's a spectrum, I think we're a little bit on different. You are very deep into the spectrum. But on this spectrum, I think we're a little bit farther.
What have I ever been wrong on an Amanda fight? She beat Caitlin, even though it says she lost. The Macy Barber fight, she did exactly what I said she would, was just bully Macy Barber. A little bit of an early stoppage there. I mean, if you let her, Amanda Hebos, to her credit, is tough as shit, man. I mean, even that Macy Barber fight, when she was getting just kind of like beat up on a little bit, I mean, some of those strikes seemed illegal to me. I think there was a headbutt in there. But she was like, she wasn't put out.
This
against Marina Rodriguez.
Everything you hear coming out of his mouth
against Marina Rodriguez, she got knocked down. The fight didn't stop. She immediately almost got a takedown after getting knocked down in that fight and then getting another early stoppage. Amanda, to me, is an undefeated fighter, and she's going to prove that in this fight, and she's going to be a double champ.
I'm rooting for her. I'm rooting for her.
And we're going to watch it live.
She got screwed
Saturday, we're going to be live streaming for this fight. It'll be fun.
Let's do it.
Well, me and the chat.
More of a you. Actually, I have are you not coming to my daughter's birthday party?
You don't work Saturdays. No, I'm not going to fucking come to your daughter's birthday party.
That's the correct answer, by the way, honestly. If you were like, yeah, is that the play place?
I mean, she's got the 10 boxes of Thin Mints ready, maybe.
Not that daughter. Thanks for knowing which one is which, though. Appreciate that. Wow. The other one's is on a holiday. Actually, this one's is too. The party's Saturday, but her birthday's Thanksgiving. Anyway, we're both on the Hebos side. I have 0 bets whatsoever on this fight, other than the inside of distance decision, no action. Felt like a safety net bet. Feels pretty good there. I don't think Hebos will finish Pinheiro. She's not a prolific finisher, but she is.
Amanda Hebos, round 2 submission, plus 1,400. Load the boat.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
We might get to Brazil on that one. We might just show up on a doorstep.
Yeah, or you'll be floating on a door in the middle of the ocean like the Titanic, betting on that. Jesus Christ.
I guarantee if she's on that door, she lets me up. She's not going to be Rose and just
no
be like,
Jack.
oh, shit. Oh, shit, no room. She's going to get up here. Right here. I got a spot.
Yeah, because
right
you're
here.
both 5'3", 115 pounds. Of course there's room for both you on that door. Of course.
Can I make a, and this is going to be a little self-deprecating here, and I think I even have the screenshot here to tell this story, but so I did meet, and I'm not going to go into the whole story, so don't worry about that. But I did meet Amanda Hebos at 285, and one of the one of the moments, and I was talking about this with Big Don. One of the moments was at the end, I fist bumped her. Right, she was like, she said, "Oh, obrigada," and she fist bumped me or whatever. And I went back after the fact, and I was like looking at the film, and I was like, I want to show. This is so bad. I was like, I want to show people how much bigger my hands are than her. I can finally compare, because I actually do have like decent sized hands for like, I have fucking decent sized hands. So I like rewound it and was like, let me look at this screenshot of her hand versus my hand. And this is like, this is like a fucking, this is like, I don't know if this is real. Like, this might have been it might have been her father, I guess, that like fist bumped me or something. But I mean, look at those fists, man. And it's kind of hard to really tell what's going on there. It looks like just kind of jumbled mess, but I mean, that's a fist and a half.
That's a hand.
There.
That's a fighter's hand.
I mean, goodness gracious. If I just showed you this screenshot and you couldn't see that her nails were painted, this could be like that's a fist, man.
That is a fist, dude. The fingers are big. Everything. It's
just a
crazy
big hand. I know.
Yeah.
Like, look at my hand. Like, my hand looks small. I mean, these are decent sized hands, man. I can palm a basketball.
Put your hands
palm
to
a
your
basketball.
face. You can palm a basketball?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I can palm basketball. I don't have one here. I have a football.
Yeah,
but I can put my hands on a football. You can see how big they are.
That's a full-size football?
Yeah, I'll fucking rip that thing. Yeah, I can palm basketball.
Good for you. I'm not going to question it. Jacob is athletic at all the things. Just, a mess.
I used to be dunking volleyballs. The issue was I couldn't dunk a basketball because I can palm it with my left hand, not my right hand. I want to dunk my right hand, but volleyballs, I used to be dunking volleyballs all the time. I used to be a volleyball coach in practice. I'd just be dunking volleyballs left and right.
You could dunk a volleyball on a 10-foot hoop?
Yeah, easily.
Jesus Christ, dude. Are we on the main card?
It's,
we are. We only have 3 fights left, and your dog's eating, so it's not that bad. All right. We're both on Amanda Hebos. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. $10 a month. All the things. And before you so tend to... I'm telling you right now, it is the most robust premium offering on the planet. WeWantPicks.com. Just click Become a Member at the top. Next up, at UFC Vegas 82, we have a highly touted prospect in Peyton Talbot taking on Nick Aguirre. UFC set this up. UFC wants him to win. Guy's a minus 800 favorite. He's nowhere near the safety parlay because he is only 6-0. Yes, he is undefeated. Yes, he is making his UFC debut. He's taking on Nick Aguirre, 7-1 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. He made his UFC debut at 7-0, and that did not go his way. Peyton Talbot is a real prospect. The UFC is looking to build him. He's a flashy striker, lots of head movement, good power. He's tall for the division. He stands tall. He throws out 1-2s. He has an incredible pace, and he finds those big shots. Decent takedown defense. If he is taken down, he stays busy. He looks to work his way back up. He can be out-grappled, though. If you go watch tape, and he has a regional title defense against Kristen Ribas. Not a lisp. That's how it's pronounced. He was on his way to losing a decision. And then he found that finish in the 3rd round. He does have composure. He does have power, but he definitely needs to work on the wrestling. Taking on Nick Aguirre. He's coming off a loss. Short notice UFC debut, though. Before that, he was undefeated. All stoppage wins. Only one of them made it out of the 1st round. On paper, he's a killer, but you look a little closer. The combined record of his opponents is absolute dog shit. He throws a few punches, immediately looks to shoot. I think Peyton Talbot's going to win this fight. The UFC thinks he's going to win this fight. That's why this is the matchup. But, again, you go back to that regional title win with Kristen Ribas. He's getting out-wrestled. He's getting taken down. And Nick Aguirre will shoot, will grapple. You can trust Peyton to stand up. You can trust Peyton to continue to come forward. He doesn't quit on himself. He doesn't start making it. He gets taken down. He works his way back up. So Peyton's going to be the pick. Minus 800 favorite. No surprise there. But I have no bets whatsoever on this guy. I can't bet on a 6-0 guy. What's the size there?
That's about almost 9.5-inch hand size. The average NFL quarterback is 9.7 inches, and those dudes
This is
are
just
all like fucking
it's just
6'4",
fully stretched
6'5".
pinky to thumb. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, hand size. Yeah, that's about 9.5 right there.
All right, you do this. I'll go get a tape measure. I want to see. Go.
Yeah, so Peyton wins. So
Tape measure,
No, go ahead.
tape measure a
Go
little
ahead.
farther than that.
Let's get a little pep in that stuff. Let's see a little bit of a jog. But I actually think that Peyton is a guy that can't. I know a lot of people are calling him like the next Sugar Sean O'Malley and stuff. And he definitely has the sniping power of a Sugar type guy, but he isn't as clean, right? Sugar is a guy that doesn't really get hit, and he's so good with those counters. Peyton is more of a guy that just kind of stands in front of you, will eat shot, and then give a shot back. So he definitely is a guy that as he is working up, he's probably going to smoke a lot of people. But once he starts getting into people and he starts fighting people that kind of really know what they're doing and understand the mechanics of striking and this and that, he's probably going to get put out at some point. Unfortunately, I don't think Nick is that guy. Nick is a grappler. He wants to be on the ground. Peyton was a wrestler in his own right, so he should be able to defend the takedowns and really kind of put this guy out. I actually think that Peyton is equal. I don't know if he's rightly priced minus 900, minus 500, minus 600. I have a first-round KO bet on him. I think he should be able to put a guy out like Nick. He does possess that power, but as he works up, he's definitely a guy that we're going to fade 2 or 3 fights from now when he starts fighting people that really, really kind of understand striking, has some power as well. So I don't think his chin's going to hold up to be a champion, but I like him in this fight.
Who, Peyton?
Yeah, you better stretch that thing out. Yeah.
Chin? You worried about his chin?
Yeah. 'Cause I mean, you got to stretch that thing out. Yeah. 'Cause I mean, you got to stretch that thing out. Yeah. 'Cause I mean, you got to stretch that thing out. Yeah. 'Cause I mean, you got to stretch that thing out. Yeah. 'Cause I mean, you got to stretch that thing out. Yeah. 'Cause I mean, you got to stretch that thing out. Yeah. 'Cause I mean, you got to stretch that thing out. Yeah. 'Cause I mean, you got to stretch that thing out. Yeah. 'Cause I mean, you got to stretch that thing out. Yeah. 'Cause I mean, you got to stretch that thing out. Yeah. 'Cause I mean, you got to stretch that thing out. Yeah. 'Cause I mean, you got to stretch that thing out. Yeah. 'Cause I mean, you got to stretch that thing out. Yeah. 'Cause I mean, you got to stretch that thing out. Yeah. 'Cause I mean, you got to stretch
So I'm at 10.25.
I bet.
Which, frankly, your hand proportional is massive. So good for you.
I do have big hands, yeah. That's what I've always said. I have bigger hands than most of my friends and everything.
You're at 9.5. I'm at 10.25. Shit.
Yeah.
Def. Get in here. Tell him I have a big meter. We're both on the Talbot side. You're going to spend the 9,500. You think he's getting a finish?
Yeah, I said first round finish. Honestly, you should get a first round finish.
Listen, I don't necessarily disagree, but he is only 6-0. We did see him get taken down in that regional fight a couple times. Yeah, he got the finish. So the odds are what they are. So going the underdog side doesn't make a ton of sense, but I don't necessarily trust it. And it's not a ton of value for parlays. But if you want to see the other bets on fights we are more confident in, WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. Next up, at UFC Vegas 82, we have the featured fight of the evening. We have Chase Hooper, 12-3 overall. 3-2 in his last 5. He is alternating wins and losses. He's taking on Jordan Leavitt, 11-2 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off that striking win over Victor Martinez. First, apparently, you saw this news. Jordan Leavitt's about to have a kid. And
Leavitt.
Basically, like, I've said this wrong for years. So at this point,
he's going to pull out of the fight. Don't put either one of these guys in your DraftKings, man.
Isn't that crazy?
Don't put either. I mean, it's his kid. No, I mean, he's.
No, I get it, but like, why'd you accept the fight? With 4 days of the due date?
I don't know, because there's a chance that it doesn't come so he can fight. I mean, it's just, he can get a paycheck before Christmas, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. So, but that's serious. I wouldn't put either one of these guys in your DraftKings because Angelo is right. He said if his wife goes into labor, which stress can induce labor, and on a fight day, I'm sure she's going to be stressed about his fight.
Dude,
if she goes into labor,
nothing.
Yeah, if she goes into labor, he said, I'm not going to fight. I will pull out on fight day if she goes into labor. So I would be very cautious putting either one of these guys in DraftKings because if he goes out, Chase goes out, and then you guys are fucked. So,
yeah, and I'll talk about betting in a second. So, yes, correct. And I'll talk about betting in a second, but this is grappler versus grappler. I think Chase Hooper's a little more well-rounded of a fighter because he will hang around with the striking a little bit. I feel like Chase Hooper's taking his career a little more seriously. Not to imply that Jordan isn't, but Chase Hooper seems to be leaning into the, I'm a nerd, here's a funny picture, where Jordan is like, yes, where Jordan is like, I'm training with who I'm going to train with, and it is what it is, right? Where Chase is like working with some accomplished, famous, well-known people in different verticals of this sport to improve his skill set. With all that being said, it is jiu-jitsu nerd versus jiu-jitsu nerd. Chase Hooper has shown us that he can be a technical striker as well, but he can fold under some pressure. Jordan Leavitt has showed us that he actually, holy shit, he's got some power in his hands, and he will wrestle, offensively wrestle. So it's a pretty even matchup, in my opinion. And when I saw a 2-1 favorite, which is essentially what these odds are, I was like, this is a little surprising. A 2-1 favorite? Why? Is he that much faster? Does he have that much more power? Does he have phenomenal wrestling all of a sudden? Like, why is Chase Hooper a 2-1 favorite here? I think this is relative, and that's not an insult to Chase. This is a competitive fight. They're basically the same fighter, and I'm going to slight lean Jordan Leavitt because I think he has the better wrestling. And we just saw he's got, legit power in his hands. But after picking Leavitt, after filming the Quick Picks video, he's talking about my kid's going to be born, this, that, the other thing. I can't trust him with my money. My plus 170 looked great before he started telling the world he's like preparing to pull out of a fight. So I'm probably not going to do much with this. But I think this is basically a 50-50 fight. And the real differentiator here is that Jordan Leavitt has better takedowns. So I don't know why he's not the pick. But I do know, last thing, and then I'll hand it over, I promise. He is like I think everybody's picking Jordan Leavitt. Everybody. And the public is stupid, us included, when that happens. When everybody's on the same underdog, tends to be dead wrong. So I might bet on Chase Hooper just because people are stupid. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I think a lot of the bets are coming in because I see the value. Because as you mentioned, it should be a close fight. Both these guys are pretty durable, especially when they get on the ground, right? If they're just rolling around, you don't really see a finish on either side. So it's probably gonna be a close matchup. And I honestly think that the best bet that I've placed this weekend is a Jordan Levitt plus 3.5. It's minus money now. I got it for plus 100. All he needs to do is win one round. If he wins the fight, great. If he just wins one round, which I think he definitely can with his wrestling, you mentioned he is a better wrestler. I think he can get the takedowns and definitely win a round, or at least win a round. It doesn't even have to be a full round. It can be one judge gave him this round, and then another judge gave him this round, another judge gave him this round. I think there's going to be some weird judging in this fight. And the issue is, what I see is, yeah, Jordan can probably get a takedown or two. Yeah, Jordan can probably do enough in the striking. But Chase is a guy that he just a nonstop. Even when he's on his back, he's just like trying to do weird stuff and trying to scramble and trying to sweep and trying to sweep and trying to do this and trying to do that. For Jordan Levitt to win this fight, he has to have 10 minutes of control time, basically, or at least 3.5, 4 minutes in each of 2 rounds to be able to steal 2 rounds for this fight. And the way that I've seen Chase fight lately, not only in the striking, but in the relentlessness of the way that he can scramble off his back, I just feel like even if he's on his back to the judges, we've seen these Vegas judges, right? They have been very anti-lay. If you just lay on somebody, they don't like it. They hate it. And if he's just trying to lay on Chase, and Chase is the one being active on his back, and he's trying to do this, and he's trying to sweep, even though he might be on his back the whole time, I think the judges are going to like that activity. I think the judges are going to like that Chase is nonstop and Jordan just trying to stifle and just lay. So if I have to come down to a judge's decisions, I've seen too many fights. I've sat on too many live streams almost every Saturday and watched these Vegas judges sway farther and farther away from just people that get takedowns and just lay on people. I think that's what Jordan might do. And I'm going Chase here because I just think he's going to be just too squirmy and relentless. That even if he's taken down, he's just going to do enough. But I think it's a close decision. It might be a split decision, and my bet pays if it is. So I'm taking Chase Hooper here, but I agree the value is probably in the Jordan Levitt side.
Yeah, the baby stuff is like that's genuinely concerning. I've got 2 kids, and never once before either one of those kids were born was it peaceful in my house. You know what I mean? Like never was it like, oh, go train, be gone for as many hours as you need to be a day. I'm fine. I'm not sick and uncomfortable.
Well, some people don't have wives that are just extremely dominant.
Clip and ship.
Well, that's
said dominant.
Yeah,
I was waiting for something else. I was really waiting.
No, I mean she fucking controls everything.
Not everything.
Well,
she has no idea how to plug in the Christmas lights. So that's that. I got a call yesterday. How do I control the Apple TV? So everything? I don't think so, Jake. But, yeah, I mean, we agree. This is a 50-50 fight. You just went one way. I went the other way with it.
You know what's interesting, too, is a lot of people are on Levitt, even though Patty basically just out-scrambled him and submitted him. And I would think that if there's a jiu-jitsu match, just a straight jiu-jitsu match between Chase Hooper and Patty, I think I'm taking Chase. Chase is a very high-level jiu-jitsu guy, and he lost his scramble and got submitted by Patty.
Yeah, losing a scramble in an MMA fight is different than losing a scramble in a jiu-jitsu match. But I hear you. I don't disagree.
Well, this is also an MMA fight.
No, I get it. But you said you started off by saying a straight jiu-jitsu match. So you
I didn't start off by saying that. I said I start off by saying that he lost a scramble to Patty in a fight.
No, you didn't, and we could run it back.
Okay, that's literally what I said. So if you don't mind pausing,
you said if it was a straight jiu-jitsu match.
I said Chase no. I referenced the Patty thing, and then I said I went to the jiu-jitsu. I said if it was a jiu-jitsu match between him and Patty, because I had already referenced Patty, that's how I made that connection. So go ahead and sit there and run it back. We'll wait.
We'll look at it.
You're so sure of yourself. Yeah, that's why.
I mean, let's put it this way: if there's not an edit of me being wrong on Twitter 30 minutes after this is over, then we know I was right. It's just that simple.
I'm sure, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I mean, this was supposed to be a peaceful stream. I had a stressful work week. I was looking forward to hanging out with my buddy.
Then he started drinking.
And then we get fucking, Joey shooting his shot over here, acting like a fucking... I was serious a little bit in the beginning when I did say, though, anytime we get these these good-sized underdogs that the public is super high on, and the public is like, this is the... Jordan Levitt seems to be the general consensus underdog of the week across the board. He's not yours. I congratulate you for that. Seriously. But he seems to be the general consensus of underdog of the week. Everybody's on Jordan Leavitt. That is usually not right when that happens. And on that reason alone, I'm very tempted to just bet on Chase Hooper. Everybody's stupid, me including. I'm going to bet on this side, but we'll see what ends up happening.
Who did you pick?
I picked Leavitt. But then I pick it. I'm before everybody. My quick pick videos are up on Sunday mornings by 10 a.m. The picks, the bets, the notes are up Saturday, 5 seconds after the event you're watching is over. The full website flips to the next event. It's all there. It's all ready. It's all typed up. We click a few buttons. Boom. Flips to the next event so you can get ready for the next event. I had Jordan Leavitt then. I had Jordan Leavitt, 2 weeks ago, whatever it is. And then after I go, I'm done. I'd like to see what other people are doing. And I see other people starting to pick Leavitt. And then I'm like, oh, fuck. Everybody's picking him. That's not good. So now I'm a little worried about it. But I did pick him, so I'm just going to stick with that. And then finding out with the kid worries me a little bit, but it is what it is. $8,800 in DraftKings, $7,400 in DraftKings. I think you got to go leave it $7,400 in DraftKings, right? He has the better takedowns. You trust him in your lineup?
I don't know who Leavitt is.
Levitt?
Nope. I think Chase could find a finish here.
Chase could find a finish here. I would have thought over 2.5 was safe.
We just got done talking about the Patty thing, so just trying to stay with it.
That's the baddie. What's Chase Hooper's nickname?
The Dream?
Is it really?
For sure.
Chase, I need to carry mace. Look at him. Anyway.
Well, he would fuck you up, fat boy.
I think I could beat up Chase Hooper. And I actually have to think about it. Because maybe I can't. But this is 150. I think I could beat up Chase Hooper. I do have to think about it, though. That's not an easy cut and dry. That's not a for sure could.
What a dumb thing to say.
I mean, it is a dumb thing to say, but look at him. Look at him. Steve Garcia beat the fuck out of him. Or Steve Peter, whichever one it was. One of the Steves beat the shit out of him. Both of the Steves beat the shit out of him.
Sorry, Chase.
WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. Check out all the picks, the bets, the insight, the round line leans, all those things, and then so much more for only $10 a month. Next up, at UFC Vegas 82, we have the co-main event of the evening. We have Michael Morales taking on Jake Matthews. Michael Morales, undefeated, famously, 12 stoppage wins in 15 fights. Taking on Jake Matthews, 19-6 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He is bouncing between wins and losses. Jake Matthews, at one point, pretty good prospect. He's a well-rounded guy, good wrestling, good grappling, good striking as well. He works angles. He has no problem mixing up the body shots and then the head shots. He's averaging almost 2 takedowns per fight. He has a solid striking differential of 3-2 and good power. And then he fought Matt Semmelsberger and got the shit kicked out of him. I've never seen somebody lose so many times in one fight before. And I think that took a lot of wind out of his sails. It took a lot out of his, oh, this guy's a good prospect. And unfortunately, now he's fighting Michael Morales. He did bounce back after that loss with a submission win against Darius Flowers, but there were some circumstances in that fight that were a little favorable for Jake. He's taking on Michael Morales. Michael Morales, we've talked about him many, many times. I am surprised this guy is not more popular. I'm surprised the UFC is not spending more money to push him. He's all the things on paper. He's a freestyle wrestling national champion, a Muay Thai national champion. He's got great footwork, great striking, great wrestling, loose boxing. He does whatever he wants to do. We have seen him win every way you can imagine. Submissions, decisions, knockouts. He absolutely looks incredible everywhere. He just beat Max Griffin, who is solid. He defended 8 takedowns, got one of his own, and he doubled the strikes. I think this is Michael Morales all day long. I liked him at minus 255 when I did my quick picks. I still like him at minus 310. We have Talbot at minus 800, who only has 6 professional fights. A guy that we've seen lose. Not lose a fight, but we've seen him losing rounds by getting taken down over and over. And then we have Michael Morales, who has a superhuman resume and has looked phenomenal and has won fights every which way you can imagine at only 3-1. I think this is phenomenal value. I think Michael Morales absolutely dominates here. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I agree. And you should listen probably to me more than anyone because I was a Michael Morales hater. I mean, I literally thought that Max Griffin was going to come in as the veteran, has the wrestling, has the tenacity, the toughness, has that one-punch power, was going to fraud check this guy, Michael Morales. All week, I was very high on Max Griffin. Was he my lock of the week? He might have been I can't remember. He might have been my lock of the week versus Michael Morales. And he definitely hung tough in there. And he had some decent moments. But Mike Morales not only passed that test, but he passed that test with flying colors. There was a moment, too, where, Max kind of had his eye messed up a little bit in the first round. He came out in the second round, got touched a little bit. And you saw that, I don't want to say it was a make or break moment because I don't think it was kind of that deep. But you saw that kind of inner, fire come out of Michael Morales because he seems like kind of like an easygoing striker. He's kind of very smooth with everything. He seems like almost like one of those fighters I always talks about that likes to fight clean. And when things get dirty, I didn't know if he was going to be able to kind of turn it up and become kind of that dirty fighter. But against Max Griffin, you saw him kind of flip a switch and get in Max's face and almost try to finish Max Griffin. And I love seeing that. So I've gone from a Michael Morales hater and doubter to this guy is legit. I think that this guy definitely is legit. This is going to be his moment against another veteran to find that finish, to really put him on the map. Jake Matthews, to his credit, he's a good boxer. He's a good striker, extremely dangerous on the ground. I don't think he's going to be able to get this fight to the ground. And in the striking, we've seen Jake Matthews get chinned. What have I been saying this whole time, the last few weeks, when people are getting dropped against power punchers, you cannot trust them. I know there's going to be some people that are sprinkling Jake Matthews this and that. I think that Michael Morales has all the makings to finish this fight, maybe in the first or the second. Jake is a good fighter. He's a veteran fighter. He's going to probably, he's been in the UFC forever. That dude already has 10, 15 UFC fights. It's crazy. I think that he's going to be around for a long time. Still a young guy. He's got a lot of abilities. But against these high-level guys with good power, Michael Morales, I think that he finds that big highlight finish and really becomes that next dude at welterweight.
Isn't it crazy the UFC doesn't seem to be just loading money onto this guy?
I mean, they might have thought what I thought and that we don't know about him yet, and then they just put him in a co-main event.
With the Bonfim brothers.
Well, this is a co-main event. It's a big spot for him.
I bet if he was a Brazilian, honestly, the hardest part might be that he's Ecuadorian, and there's no UFC Ecuador. So that might be because the Bonfim brothers were like, oh, we're in Brazil.
I did
load it up.
Ecuador.
How'd that go?
Hopefully we have better luck with Brazil.
Hopefully I'm still below the equator, which is great news, guys. It's great news. Anyway, I think we're pretty aligned on this fight. 3-1 favorite. Should be a little farther than that, if you will. Michael Morales undefeated, probably going to be 16-0 at the end of the week, and I think he's safe to parlay. But if we learned anything the last couple of months, don't overly expose yourself. Don't throw him in 11 parlays.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not, minus 450 or something like that,
I 100%, people saw Talbot at minus 700 and then
bet him up.
Said, let me give a little more money to that. And then they see Michael Morales at 310 said, no, thanks.
I bet this is one of those cards where, as it goes along, right before the fight, Michael balloons up to minus 400 or something. Because I bet this is it feels like one of those cards where it feels like a lot of dogs are alive, and then it ends up being kind of chalky, and then people are just chasing the chalk towards the end.
Yeah, because Saturday will be interesting. People are going to look at the card. They're going to see some people are not affordable anymore. And then who's the next affordable? Oh, Michael Morales. This guy's undefeated.
How is Jake Matthews going to win? Somebody said Morales is going to lose. How does Jake Matthews win? Just answer me in the chat. If you guys think he's going to win, how does he win?
Wrestle the freestyle national champion.
How's
he's not going to outstrike the Muay Thai national champion.
Just somehow win a decision, I guess. You think he's just going to choke him out or something? I don't know. And that's an honest question, too. I don't know. It's easy to just be like, this guy's going to win. But when you think about how's he going to win, it's like, fuck, man, I don't know.
The problem is, while I agree with all of that, it is a fist fight, and we've learned that nothing matters
and Jake's
anymore.
A good boxer. I'm not trying to sit here and be like he doesn't have a chance. He definitely has the abilities to win any fight. He's a good fighter. He's a good boxer. But this dude Michael is pretty clean with it.
So this is the person saying that Jake Matthews is going to win. Is it Spliff?
No.
Oh,
it was the It Factor.
Okay, well, we'll circle back to that. It's easy to be anonymous in the live chat.
Jake going to put the pressure on the front. That's what I thought that's what I thought. You guys are saying everything that I thought was going to happen with Max Griffin, another veteran that has power, that can wrestle, and it just did not fucking work out. So be careful.
I hear you. Anyway, I do have some stuff going on with Michael Morales. I believe in the Michael Morales hype. I do think he's all the things they say he's going to be. I think he's worth the $9,100 in DraftKings. And if you want to see the picks, the bets, and everything else related to this fight and all the other fights, WeWantPicks.com. Click become a member. At the top, it is only $10 a month.
I mean, Jake in his last fight was getting bullied by a 155er. He was getting bullied in the beginning of that fight. The guy just kind of death gassed.
Yeah, and that was short notice.
Man. Oh, he said he's not betting him. So he sat here and be like, oh, he's going to win.
What an Angelo move, huh? What a fucking Angelo that guy is. Next up.
We made it.
UFC. We're at the main event. 2 hours and 20. This is the longest stream we've ever done combined. There are 14 fights.
Like the stream if you haven't liked the stream already. Let's go. Rewind to the very beginning and watch my my poem I wrote for Amanda. Yeah, you didn't even answer Shevsky. He donated $5 and asked what the thing was. I forgot about that, Shevsky. I don't know if you're still watching, but we appreciate the 5 spot. And go to the 2 minutes into the stream, and that was the big announcement.
There you go. Oh, I missed the 5 spot?
Yeah, from Shevsky, man. That's a dude, man.
You
Shevsky,
know what?
on,
I think I did see it. Hold on. I'm going. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is.
He's still in here. We got him.
$5 from Shevsky. Just got here, fellas, that I missed the special thing that Jake... Why you were teasing the Discord. You did miss it. He officially...
Well, don't ruin it. Don't... Oh! He wants to rewind and watch it, man. Come on.
And did it very creatively. Thank you so much. For the 5 spot, next up at UFC Vegas 82, we have the main event of the evening after 2.5 hours of breaking down fights. We got Brendan Allen, 22-5 overall, 5-0 in his last 5. He is riding a 5-fight win streak. This guy rejuvenated his career, and it's working for him. He's taking on Paul Craig.
You didn't mention the lock of the week.
Who,
you're so quick to disparage every loss.
Well, failed lock of the week just rolls off the tongue. Successful lock of the week is not. It's a lot of. There's how many more syllables is that?
I got a lot of hate.
Successful. 3 syllables.
That ended my
failed.
I've never lost more than 4 in a row, and I think we were at 4 right then, and then Paul Craig comes in right there.
Paul Craig at middleweight was Jacob's lock of the week. He's 17-6 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, and like I said, he's coming off that successful middleweight debut. Brendan Allen has become a really well-rounded guy. He started his career as a pure grappler. Then he way overcorrected and became a pure striker. Now he seems to have put it all together. He's dropping people. He's out wrestling people. He's out grappling people. He smoked Andre Muniz, which so did Paul Craig. So maybe it's maybe Andre Muniz isn't as good as we thought. But
it's a custody battle. That's what I said on Twitter. These are Andre Muniz's fathers, and they're battling for custody for Andre.
Very woke custody battle going on here. But, Brendan Allen is all the things. He's a very good grappler. He's a very good striker. He's at a very good team, and he seems to have sort of found his place in this division. He knows who he is now, where, like I said, before he was too much of a grappler, then too much of a striker, overcorrecting, making weird adjustments. But he's beaten a couple of very good people. He lost. He got knocked out by Chris Curtis. And then from that point forward, I think he seemed to be like, okay, what am I doing here? What am I doing? I got to start doing the right things. And it seems to be working for him. He's coming off that win over Bruno Silva where he dropped him early and then snatched up a submission. And as we all know, Bruno Silva is one of the hardest hitting guys in the division. He's taking on Paul Craig. Paul Craig is a grappler. Straight BJJ nerd, but insanely tough. He is dangerous on the ground. He's proven to be insanely dangerous. He's never out of a fight. He has more than one win where he was getting pummeled, was on his way to losing, unequivocally losing, getting the shit beat out of him, and then pulled off a submission win. More than one time that has happened. And so he's proven to be tough. Yes, jiu-jitsu nerd, doesn't have the greatest striking, doesn't have the greatest wrestling, but his jiu-jitsu is so good. He has a win over champion who didn't lose his belt, Jamal Hill. Broke Jamal Hill's elbow or dislocated it. very early in that fight. He has the win over Ankalaev, who a lot of people think will be the light heavyweight champion of the
That
world.
dude's the fucking worst.
Well, anyway, a lot of people still think he's one of
Not
the best
talent
in the
level.
world.
I just meant he just. I
Oh,
don't think anybody they think he can be champ for sure, but I don't think anybody wants that dude as a fucking champ.
he's boring as all hell. But anyway, Paul Craig is not boring. He's very tough. He is willing to fight. But again, this guy's all jiu-jitsu. His hands are there. They're not great. His wrestling's there. It's not great. He came down the middleweight. Everybody said, how the hell is this guy going to make middleweight? He's a good size light heavyweight. But he made middleweight, and he looked good. He didn't look like he was sucked out. He just
Did
looked
it the
like
right way.
He looked like a little bit smaller version of himself, which is how you want to do it. You don't want to look like, remember when Conor made 145 again? It was like, ooh, boy. Like, this guy does not look good. That was not the case with Paul Craig. He came out. It was a little competitive early, and then he just took over and beat the brakes out of Andre Muniz, who's supposed to be this phenomenal BJJ killer of a guy. Regardless of how good Paul Craig looked, regardless of how dangerous Paul Craig can be on the ground, I don't think it matters. I think it's Brendan Allen all day. I think these odds are correct. I think Brendan's going to be the better striker, the better wrestler. I think his jiu-jitsu is good enough to not get submitted. He is a BJJ black belt. He's not just like decent at jiu-jitsu. He is a black belt. Obviously, Paul Craig's proven to be very tough, but I think it's Brendan Allen all day. I'm very confident in Brendan Allen. I'm not worried about it one bit. Better team, all the things. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Shevsky's back. He heard the poem. He said it was beautifully written. That's I appreciate that, Shevsky. Shevsky's my dude. In this fight, I agree that Brendan Allen is the better fighter in this matchup. Obviously, in like a straight jiu-jitsu match, I think he still might even be better like straight jiu-jitsu. I mean, people don't realize how and I've been trying to scream for a while how high level this dude Brendan Allen is on the ground. I'm a big fan of both these guys. I love Brendan Allen. He's a great fighter. Obviously, I love Paul Craig. Former lock of the week in his last fight, got us off the skid, and he showed improvements in that fight. He didn't just come in and be typical Paul Craig and, I got taken down, I'm fighting off my back. He came in, got a blast double takedown, showed some TKO, ground and pound ability. You've never really seen him fight from a top position. It's usually off his back, trying to throw up those triangles and stuff. That's his specialty. But he showed some evolution to his game, and I have to imagine that he's going to keep getting better. I know he's not like a super young guy, but when you change weight classes, sometimes that really kind of re-energizes you in your training. And I've seen the training videos, and I think the striking is going to be a little bit sharper than people think. I think maybe the defensive and offensive wrestling is going to be a little bit sharper than people think. And Brendan Allen, he should win this fight. He's the better striker. He's the better grappler. I mean, kind of like overall grappler. But Brendan Allen does a lot of stuff that puts himself in danger. I mean, he will get in firefights against the fence, even against, in his last fight, he was kind of getting hit a little bit. He's been chinned before. He will get in those firefights. He will stay in there because he's a confident guy. He thinks he can win every single one of them. On the ground, he will get in grappling exchanges. He will get in scrambles because he feels I'm the best in the world, right? He is one of those confident guys that thinks I can win every striking exchange. I can win every grappling exchange. And a type of fight like this, versus a guy, as you mentioned, as tough, as durable, as wiry and weird, and just can find ways to win against Paul Craig. That's dangerous, man. I mean, that is very, very dangerous. I have money on Brendan Allen. He should win this fight. Honestly, I don't want to say he should win it easily, but just touch Paul Craig. Let's touch him. Let's box. You're the better boxer. Don't get in those brawls. If you want to get a takedown or two to kind of seal some rounds and see what you can do with 20, 30 seconds left, that way in case something happens, you're not in a situation where you're tapping to lose a fight, you can get out of the round. Let's do some of that type of stuff. But, he should win this fight. Brendan Allen I've been a fan of Brendan Allen for a long time. I think he can actually be a guy that competes for the title. He has shown that he is such a very well-rounded fighter, but he does put himself in those positions sometimes where it's like, oh no, Brendan, like what are you doing? But he's gonna be my pick. I do have money on him, just like in a parlay type of thing. But I don't know who I'm rooting for this one, honestly. I hope it's a good one.
Yeah, you got to root for. I mean, Paul Craig's always a fun guy, but you got to root for Brendan Allen. He's so young. He's putting it together. Here's Paul Craig's losses, just because I was curious too, looking it up. Tyson Pedro took him down, elbowed the shit out of him. Khalil Roundtree knocked him out. Jimmy Crute submitted him. Alonzo Menafield knocked him out. Volkan Ozdemir, bunch of takedowns, nice decision. And then Johnny Walker knocked him out.
Yeah, losing to Jimmy Crude is like that's a and I know that was a while ago
now
and stuff like that, but that was that dude fucking sucks.
Well, and he lost to Alonzo Menafield, so he lost to.
Well, Menafield, getting knocked out by Menafield is like,
good. Yeah,
it is.
I just mean because the two of them had their history, and then Alonzo smoked him. He lost to both sides.
Can you believe that Alonzo Menafield in the rematch was a fucking underdog?
We both were on that side.
Holy
like, dude,
shit!
This
dude.
guy knocked him down three
the
times.
The only reason why Alonzo Menafield didn't knock him out in the first round of the first fight was because of dumbass Pat Barry in his fucking corner, giving him the worst advice I've ever seen in my life. Wrestle him. He'd fucking club him. He's fucking just like, what are you doing? Just knock him out, man. Dumbass.
He dropped him like every round. He got a point.
And then just started wrestling. And Pat's like, you're doing great, sweetheart. You're doing great. Jesus Christ.
Well, we're talking about a completely different fight. Anyway, point being, we're both on the Brendan Allen side. We both recognize how dangerous Paul Craig is, but also like, he should lose this fight. And being dangerous, 35 years old, cutting all this weight against Andre Muniz was no spring chicken. And not as well-rounded as people thought. Brendan Allen is well-rounded. He's in his 20s. He's got all the card. Like, Brendan Allen this should be a very straightforward fight. Obviously, we know Paul's dangerous, but this should be a very straightforward fight. $9,300 in DraftKings, I think I will spend it. Because even if it goes to a decision, I assume Brendan's going to wrestle. Maybe not, but I assume he'll wrestle a little bit.
I don't know if he's going to wrestle, but there were some comments that are like, he's not going to sub Paul Craig. Anybody can sub anyone.
Yeah,
anyone can. I mean, at this level, anyone can submit anyone. And they were saying the exact same thing when he was fighting Andre Muniz. It was like, there's no way. Andre Muniz is much higher level than both these guys.
6 world time champion.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking anything can happen.
26-year-old Brendan Allen beat the shit out of him. And it's not like Brendan Allen dropped him and then submitted him and you could blame it on the chin. No, he just straight up worked him.
But Brendan Allen is a guy, and I actually got what was the fight? Did he get the submission win in that last fight or whatever? I'm very high on the fact that Brendan Allen always defaults to the submission. So if he does get somebody hurt and they go to the ground, his default action is going to be go for the submission. So, that could get him in trouble here or it could pay off nicely.
Yeah, this is not a fight where you want to create a scramble for no reason. You got him rocked, just run with the rocking. But, and he did that to Bruno Silva. Dropped him and then jumped on him and got the submission. So, yes, he submitted Bruno Silva.
I called the submission. I said that exactly what was going to happen, which I usually do that for every fight.
Yeah, no, congratulations on all your success. If you want to see all of Mastermind Jacob's picks and bets and round line leans and all that, WeWantPicks.com.
Become a premium member, man. I'm trying to get the Brazil Team Ribas. Let's do it, man. Support.
I'm with you. It is just a great way to support us and everything that we do, but it's going to get you far more than just a little support certificate. But before I talk about premium, follow the socials. They're all free.
Follow my Instagram. I'm going to post that. I'm going to post the Ribas thing tomorrow at some point. We're going to tag Ribas. We're going to get a response, and dreams come true.
Here we go. This is Jacob's Make-A-Wish. We talked to the foundation. He said, I don't want Disney. Just give me an audience of about 19, 20,000 people.
I don't want
Let me ask the girl of my dreams out. What was that?
It's going to be real. I don't want no sympathy bullshit. I want this real or not. You know what I mean?
Well, you learned a little bit of Portuguese for your poem and everything, so good for you. I don't mean that sarcastically. It sounded that way. I didn't mean that. Follow the socials. The Discord is 100% free. The link to all of these are in the description. And now here's your premium plug. Picks, bets, round line leans, all that stuff. But you're also going to get tools. You're going to get 38 columns of detailed data, metrics, and analytics. You're going to get the line movement tracker, opening odds, current odds, win probability, and line movement for every single fighter on every single card. You're going to get more than just me and baby Jake. You're going to get the MMA Minute. He has 30,000 followers on the TikTok.
Big Uros medic guy.
Big, huge. He's you're going to get all the picks, the bets, the round line leans from him. You're going to get all the same from Running Mouth MMA. There are 3 of them on that show. You're also going to get Artem breaking down far more than UFC. He has a full Bellator slate up now. And the Pick Doctor, which is an artificial intelligence picking fights based solely off of historical data. All of this and so much more at WeWantPicks.com. Just click Become a Member. It is only $10 a month. This is the longest show we have ever done. Any words before I click end?
How's it feel being live for 2.5 hours when I do it for 7 hours every Saturday, Angelo?
I could keep going.
Oh, you think so? You want to sit here?
Going, yeah. Okay.
All right. Let's go.
Let's go.
You might want to go get more wine or something.
Yeah, I'm going to go get